welcome to another episode of ArtCo Drone Solutions. We've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about controllers. Yes, we're going to talk about the Autel Evo controller here. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to compare that to the Mavic Air 2. So if I could grab it, yeah. It's way over there. All right, here it is. The Mavic Air 2 controller, and it comes up like that. Put your phone in, and we'll talk about both of these. And later on in the show, a friend of mine from the Philippines, James Tanner of My PI Dream, may join us, and we'll talk about studio equipment to do live streams. So we'll talk about that in the latter half of the show, and then when he jumps in, we could talk about that. So let's get this party started. Waiting for the usual suspects to jump in. I just want to say hello to the folks in the chat. We got Mitch, old guy in the drone, which hopefully I'll see in a few minutes here. Joe, Jaybird Drone, welcome to the show. Brent Nunley, Jody, Drone Shots, Chris Hope, Cigar Nation Warriors, and Mike, GFO Drone and Tech Guy. I hope you're feeling much better, Mike. Mike had the unfortunate he had the corona. So he's recovered from that, and hopefully he'll get his taste buds back. So, and we got Lauren Donauer. Welcome to the show. So hello, everybody. So we got a good group here. We're at 13 and building at Fly Zone Drone Quadcopters. Welcome. AZ Drone Dude. David, I believe. Welcome to the show. What part of Arizona are you from, David? Are you in the Phoenix or Tucson area? That would be nice to know. Mike, Night Train, another Michigander. Hopefully Bill from Metro Drones will be in the chat. I sent him a link, so maybe he'll come on tonight. Oh, all right. Mike said he went back to work. That is great to hear. You know what? If they've given you Z-Pack, I bet you that's probably the reason why you're having taste problems, because that zinc will screw up your sense of taste. Oh, you're in Scottsdale. Wonderful, wonderful. And Fly High Ireland, UK, RC Mania. Welcome to the show. John F., welcome. When I back in my stand-up comedy days, the only place I got to perform is in Flagstaff, and that was just a one-nighter and no FPV radios. Well, we might talk about FPV a little later. Mike Roach, Mike R. Media, welcome to the show. Yes, we're building up. Well, I'm glad you like this, Mike, Cigar Nation Warriors. This is a newer mark. That's Mike, and that is NEEWER. And I've had this microphone, I think going all the way back to when I did the internet radio show called Art's Place, which was on Blog Talk Radio. Oh, Steve Mack, welcome to the show. Welcome. Yeah, back in the day, Art's Place was on internet radio. Now we're on YouTube. So that is tomorrow. So, hey, let's welcome to the show Mitch, old guy and a drone.
Drone. Hi, Art. How
Hey,
you doing?
welcome to the show.
Good. How's my audio
Yeah,
sound? Can you hear me okay?
you sound great and you look
Okay.
good too.
Well, it goes without saying.
Yeah, well,
So do you.
well, thank you very much.
How are you? Hello, everybody in the chat. Good to see everybody. All the usual suspects are here tonight.
Yep. Hey, we got Sonia, Nature's Beauty. Welcome to the show.
And we could use a little beauty around here.
Yeah. So, how's the weather down there in sunny Florida?
It's been sunny. It's been great. It's starting to rumble outside a little bit, so I think we may get a little passing shower. But
I
it's been
see.
hot. You know,
Yeah.
in the low 90s. Nothing like
Oh
they're getting
boy.
out in hundreds
Well,
and everything out in the
we
Midwest.
we've been in the mid to upper 90s here in Denver up until yesterday when we were in the low 80s, and then we finally got some rain, and we finally got good containment on that big fire up near Grand Junction, which is now the biggest fire in state history at
Wow,
139,000 acres. So
wow.
hopefully that rain knocked down that fire, and hopefully we get that out soon. Soon. All right, I want to say hello to Four-Eyed Canine Tim. Welcome to the show. And then we have our Mindoro Journey. Yes, welcome to the show. And TJ Grady and Nubis Arts. Welcome to the show. So that's the weather here. So today we're going to talk about the controllers. This is the hold it. This is the one for the Autel Evo, which is really nice, and it folds out like that, kind of like the Mavic Air and the Mavic controller. And the phone. Oh yeah, cool. Yep, yep.
this
Now
is this is the one
that one's.
for the Tello. This is the one for the
Oh, okay.
Tello.
So that's a Bluetooth one.
Yeah. It's a toy.
Well, this one, the system is very similar to OcuSync. And then the neat thing about it is if you look here, there's an OLED screen right here. So you could fly this without a phone. So it's kind of like the smart controller. But the only problem is you can't access all the different functions that you would if you used a phone with it. And the nice thing about this will, you could put some fairly good sized phones on here, and but it fits really nice, and the controllers are nice and close to outside where you could easily reach all the buttons on here. One for the camera, one for recording, and you got gimbal control and all kinds of neat stuff. This is a really nice controller. Now for the Mavic Air 2, now this is OcuSync 2 on here. Hey, Thomas O'Sullivan, welcome to the show. Yeah, this is OcuSync 2, and it's really nice. And this slides out for the put your phone in, and right back here is the cables to hook to your your phone. And oh yeah, and the thing about this is these can come off. Where on the Autel Evo, they do not come off. And here's the neat thing about it is right underneath here, there's a place to put these guys. So when you're done flying, you take them off and you put them in down here, and that way it won't snag on anything when it's put away. So that's the cool thing about it.
You certainly have plenty of controllers, Art.
Yeah.
Have you been
So
controlling? Have you been controlling with them lately?
yeah, I flew the Mavic Air 2 a couple times and the Autel Evo a couple times. I think tomorrow I'm going to take both of them out and I'm going to do a side by side video comparison and show what the Mavic Air 2 could do, which is zoom. It's got the zoom feature, so that's a big bigger step than the Autel Evo. Autel Evo is a very, very nice drone. It's about an inch longer than the Mavic Air 2. And the battery is bigger, but you only get one battery. I don't know if Autel Evo has a fly more combo like the DJIs have, where for just under $1,000 with the Fly More combo, you get 3 batteries, and it comes with filters. And where the Autel Evo, you don't get any filters. I think you have to buy those separate. Hello, Mel. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Mel, how
And
you doing? I couldn't tell you if they have a. I've never looked to buy an Autel, so I've never looked at their website to see if they have a Fly More. But I'm sure extra batteries are available.
oh yeah, I'm sure it probably costs another 100
100,
bucks, maybe.
150, 120.
Yeah, yeah. Where
I
the
don't know.
DJI batteries, depending on the model, are much cheaper.
I don't know.
And
The Mavic 2 batteries are like 150 bucks, aren't they?
yeah,
If
that's
I
true.
remember, if I remember correctly.
Now, both of these drones, they have a. You could fly them for 30 minutes. That's how long the battery lasts. I think with the Mavic Air 2, it's about 28 minutes.
Says Autel battery 85 bucks seems to be the
Oh, okay, cool.
is this what your battery looks like? This
Yes, it does. Hmm.
so that's
Yeah,
hundred
$100.
$100 at Best Buy, so $85 everywhere else. Oh, now
Now,
it
the
says
only
90.
thing I.
Now it says 95. It said 85. It said 85 when I first did the search. I went off to Best Buy, came back to the search page, now it says $99.
Oh, boy. Hello, Russell. Welcome to the show. Ray Kelly, welcome, welcome. Now, the only thing I don't like about the Autel Evo battery is it's got a button on the top and then kind of slides and then pulls up. And it's kind of hard to get it out of the drone where the Mavic Air 2 has the buttons on both sides of the battery. And you press on that and it pulls straight up and it comes right out.
Anyway, they look like they're cheaper.
Toes, welcome to the show.
They look like they're cheaper than the DJI batteries, at least for the Mavic 2. I don't know what
Right.
does the Evo 2 use the same batteries as the Evo One, or that would be too
You know
simple,
what?
wouldn't
I
it?
don't know.
That'd be
I
too
don't
easy.
know. They both look similar, so maybe they do. Like, uh, the one other advantage that the Evo has, because it's
Evo 2
orange,
batteries.
it's easier to see in the sky.
Four-eyed Canine says no, they don't fit.
Oh, okay.
AZ Drone Dude says $230 for the Evo 2 battery. Wow.
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 I'll stick with I'll stick with the whoops, with the FPV drones.
Yeah,
Batteries are 20, 30 bucks,
that's right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Evo 2 batteries over $200. Holy mackerel.
Wow. Wow. And the
Unbelievable.
other downside to the Evo is the door on where the SD card goes in. It's made of hard plastic, and it's really hard to get it open unless you like to break off your thumbnail. But on the Mavic Air 2, it's much easier. It's hard rubber, and it comes out right out, and it's on kind of like a pivot, so you get pull it and pivot, and then it's open. Where the Autel Evo, you gotta kind of fold it back and hold it, and then get at the SD card. So it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Four-eyed Canine says carries tweezers for that. Yeah, some of these things, especially right after you trim your fingernails, when you trim your
Yeah.
fingernails up, you can't get the damn SD cards out of anything. Those things, I don't know how many of you guys have, when you're plugging them in, you push it in and you don't get it to quite click, and then your fingernail slips off and the thing shoots out across the room.
Yeah.
And honest to God, on in flight, right in the middle of the arc as they're flying across the room, they
Oh,
find a black hole and
yep.
disappear right into that black hole,
Hmm.
never to be seen again.
Hmm.
I mean, being tiny is great, but you
Yeah.
gotta be so careful with those things. They're very expensive.
Yeah, that's right. Well, if you happen to be lucky that it lands upside down where the black side is up, and if you have light enough carpet, you can find it. But if you got dark
Yeah,
carpet, okay, you're screwed.
I had one fall down on my chair, in the desk chair. It somehow went in between the back cushion and the seat. Where the two cushions
Oh
meet.
boy.
The seat meets the top cushion. Went into
Yeah.
that crack. Gone.
Oh,
Gone. I took the cushions off. There was no place that card could have gone, and yet
yep.
I never ever found it.
Hmm. I think they have minds of their own. They're going, "Hey, let's hide from Mitch. Let's go. Let's go on the cushion behind the seat."
No, Mel, that's not where it went.
But
These guys are picking on me tonight, even though it's 3,200. What did Chris say? Megahertz. So he's at the 2130. So change settings. Tomas. Oh, Tomas is talking to Chris about
oh,
memory
to
speeds.
Chris, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The okay. Oh, the like okay. The RAM memory on the PC. Yeah,
On a PC,
yeah.
yeah, he's
It's at the DDR4 or something like that.
Well, you don't want you can some guys overclock everything, and then I
Oh
always found
yeah,
every time I try to overclock something, I cause more troubles
yeah.
than I solve.
And there's my tip jar. If you like the show and you want to help out, throw a couple bucks in. That would be greatly appreciated.
So I may actually take my Mavic 2 out tomorrow morning and fly it.
Oh, nice. Are you
I
going
don't know.
down to that inlet you were talking
No,
about?
no, we hadn't planned on that yet for tomorrow, but one of the guys that usually comes out on Sunday to the park, he was out there. He was in my show, Pete
Oh yeah,
Nunez. Remember
Pete
him? Yeah,
Nunez.
the guy that has the Phantom 3 and
That-
built that ridiculous big huge
Yeah.
helipad. Uh, so when I saw him flying his Phantom 3, all of a sudden I said, "Boy, I think I'm getting a little urge to fly my Mavic. I haven't flown it in a while, so I think I'll charge a couple batteries up tonight." And
There you go.
Jaybird says, "Wow, you fly GPS?" Question mark. that's, yeah, that's how I started with drones. Was with the Mavics, and
All right, we got
you knew
another
that, Joe.
panelist in. Let's welcome to the show, Steve Carpenter.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
How are
Welcome,
ya?
welcome.
Hi, Mitch. Art.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Doing
Fine.
good. Beautiful sunny day here today in the high 70s, and
Oh,
we've
good.
gotten rid of all the heat and no fires here, so
Oh.
everything's good.
Oh,
Don't talk too loud.
I know.
Yeah.
did you finally get some rain to knock back those fires? No.
No, they're still burning. They're still burning inland. I mean, no rain, no fires here. It's we're lucky where we're at. We're pretty safe here.
Yeah. Well, here in Colorado, we finally got some rain that's really helped us out. And that big fire out by Grand Junction is now the biggest in state history.
Oh wow! How many
Yeah.
acres, may I ask? Do you know?
139,000 acres.
Oh,
Is that anywhere near where they're going to have the spin down event?
No, that's up by Vail, which is like halfway
okay.
across the state.
All right.
Grand
that's
Junction is near the Utah border. Hey, I want to say hello to James of My PI Dream. Yeah, you are certainly welcome to come on, James. When you finish up your breakfast there, your waffles, and I know you like those waffles with the Canadian syrup that your subs who come and visit you drop you off nice goodies. Must be nice living in the Philippines. I'm still planning on going in February.
Can you hear that thunder that's rumbling?
that's you? I
Wow.
thought it was your stomach.
No, that's well. Art's talking about all this food, and yes, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, it's dinner time for you guys. Well, for you,
Uh,
Mitch, but not for Art. He's got a little bit of time
Well,
to go.
it's almost 7:30 here. I ate a little something a little earlier, but basically just hold me over till dinner kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, before the show, I had some potato chips to kind of hold me over as well. I turned in the rental car today, so I'm without a car for a few days. So hopefully,
How
I'll have
come
a
you
car.
turned it in? Why'd
Huh?
you turn it in?
Well,
Wouldn't they
because
cover it for you?
the people, the insurance people said, time to turn in that rental. Okay.
Wow, I would have said to them, time to give me a new car then.
Have they issued you the check?
It should be here, I hope, Monday or Tuesday.
I would call them up and tell them there's not an insurance company around that's going to pull a car away from you if they've not settled with the check in your hand. I would call your insurance company.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No response from that. Art, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. Call your insurance company, man.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
Tell them how can you expect me to turn a rental car in if you haven't given me the money to buy a new car? Am I supposed to be without a car?
Well, I mean, this is the first time I've done this, so I'm kind of new at all this, so never had to make a claim on an accident. Although
But you already
try to
turned.
make a claim when I ran into a deer, and they said, "Oh, sorry, it's not covered."
An act of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I didn't have that. If I would have had the next level in my policy, it probably would have covered.
Well, read your insurance policy and read the terms and conditions. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
In the time,
I mean, I've been in an auto accident, but having a house, having the fire, the garage fire we had. Let me tell you, I read every comma, dot, T crossed in that policy, and just in case. And I have to admit, the insurance policy, from the moment I called them, they couldn't get a hold of me because they shut all the power down to the house, and my cell service only works if I have my voice over IP connected.
Oh,
so they're trying
really?
to call
Okay.
to get a hold of me. So I go to my neighbors. We've been trying to contact you. We've got a room for you guys for tonight and get you guys into someplace. I mean, it was
and
within
like a good
4
neighbor,
hours.
State Farm is there.
No, Liberty Mutual.
and
Liberty
Steve,
Mutual.
I'm looking at your post. It's in all caps. It says, please remember to smash the like button. And I think in light of Art's situation, maybe we shouldn't use the word smash for a little while, you know?
Well, no, there's a difference between smash and crash.
It's got to be very subtle, that's for sure. Cigar Nation Warriors has a question for me. My thoughts on learning to fly toy drones without altitude hold before going FPV. Art, you don't mind if I answer that, do you?
No, go ahead.
Okay. No drone flying, no matter what it is going to do anything but make you better. Okay, I mean, even toy drones, you still practice and you're still going to get something out of it. So, would I go out of my way to buy a toy drone that I didn't have because I wanted to learn FPV? No, I would fly. I would get a Tiny Hawk and fly it in stable mode for a little while until I got the feel, and then learn how to fly it. But if you've already got a toy drone, kind of like, I consider this Tello almost like a toy drone, even though it's got position hold. It couldn't hurt you. Couldn't hurt. My opinion.
It's good advice. Yep, I agree. Michael Wright, hello, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Art, you catching up on your blue wrenches there, Art?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, Cigar Nation Warriors, Nature's Beauty. So what have you been up to, Steve?
I got the lawnmower treatment, got the weed whacker out this morning. Got my hair cut, went shopping. taking care of some emails for work, and finally sitting down to relax for a minute.
Cool. Did you wear a
There you
mask
go.
when you got your hair cut?
Let's put it this way: the salons are not supposed to be open.
Really?
Not
No
till
kidding.
Monday. Not
Oh.
till Monday.
Oh,
But I was
been
going to
boy.
make
shut-
yeah, I can understand that it would be a problem today, but on Monday it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm wearing a mask, but the people that were in there, some were wearing masks, some were not. You know, and I asked them. I said, if you want me to wear a mask, I will. You know,
They
I'll
keep cutting the string. You know, I mean, you put the mask on and then it'd fly off when they cut the string around behind your ear. You know.
Well, the young lady that cuts my hair, she's been doing it for many years, and she feels the same way I do. Bunk.
Well, in Michigan, bunch of they're not open. A lot of the little, like the comedy clubs, they're not open yet. They're not. It's like I feel sorry for the comedy club owners that have been closed since what, March, and they won't let them open.
Well,
It's like
I mean,
they're killing their business.
their logic, these stupid politicians, is probably there's nothing funny about the coronavirus. That's probably how they feel. There's nothing funny about it, so we can't have comedy clubs open.
Mhm.
That was a joke.
Yeah, I know. I got it. But
Listen,
you know,
Art, I'm just giving Art a taste of his own medicine. Did you see the video that I posted today?
No, I have not.
No,
I haven't-
okay.
Like
Art,
I
you
said,
saw it,
I've been
didn't you?
running around all day
Oh
today.
yeah.
Yeah, and in that video, I posted a couple minutes from one of my live streams where Art was the plucky comic relief through the whole thing, and actually, that first joke you told was really funny. I'm building this quad, and I'm showing off the frame, and the name of the company the name of the frame is a reptile.
Okay.
Okay, so I said, yeah, the good news is Banggood had it in their USA warehouse, so I got it pretty quick. And he said, yeah, no reptile dysfunction. And of course, I gave him one of those, but I was laughing at him.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah.
Nature built beauty. Sonia, right around 6 o'clock or at the top of the first hour, I do a trivia game where the winner gets to win some Enstrom's almond toffee, but sorry, it's only for U.S. Residents. And I know you're over there in England, and it would be too expensive for me to ship that. However, around Christmas time, I have a deal with the candy company where I will do a giveaway for a 1 pound box of almond toffee, and they will ship it anywhere in the world. So,
Wow.
yep.
Yeah, so you know who's going to win that? Somebody that lives in your hometown, probably.
That big one that we did for Valentine's Day, one winner was from Colorado. The other two winners were from other states. So,
They just drove down and picked it up.
yeah.
Long way to go for a little thing of toffee that lasts all of 3 minutes when you get it. I'm telling you, it's the disappearing toffee. There's something wrong with that toffee. The minute you crack the seal on the box, it's gone. It's empty.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
like Lay's potato chip. Bet you can't eat
Yeah,
just
exactly.
one, huh?
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right. That's right.
And I don't know of anybody that has won that or gotten a box of that has had any different experience with it than I had.
Well, thank you, Steve. All right, if you. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that, but Instrum's they posted a thing on Facebook of one of their candy makers, Clint, celebrating 40 years with the company.
Wow.
So
Holy cow!
I sent that link to Lloyd, and I say, "Hey, Lloyd, this is the guy that made your toffee you just got."
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
if I worked
unheard of this day and
if
age.
I worked 40 years for a candy company, I'd be easy to find in a crowd. I'd be the 700-pound guy. It's true. So I'm addicted to that stuff. I have to stay away from it.
It'd be like
That's
Lucille
why I always
Ball.
give the wrong answers in your. I always give the wrong answers on purpose in your trivia quizzes. Art.
Is that like Lucille Ball and Ethel and the candy? The candy.
Yeah.
That was one of the classic comedy scenes of old TV. Yeah.
Yeah, because that assembly line is going faster and faster, and he couldn't keep up. Yep. Yep.
I could see Mitch there.
Oh God.
That would be funny.
Yeah, that was. You're right, Ray Kelly. That was one of the best. And from what I hear, they say that Lucille Ball was a real miserable human being. And I find that hard to believe but they said she was a tough cookie.
She was the brains behind Desi Arnaz, though.
Yep.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. She ran their business.
Mm-hmm. And she was smart enough to produce and get Star Trek on the air, because that was produced by Desilu Production.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, I probably
Yep.
knew that, but it's been so long that I forgot that. Yeah, she even gave Desi top billing in the company name.
Mm-hmm.
I still watch some of those old I Love Lucy's on like Antenna TV, one of those stations. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was on forever after I Love Lucy. It was the Lucille Ball
The Lucy
show.
and-
yeah. Here's Lucy, and
Yep.
man.
They knew how to do it. The marketing was
Well,
there.
Like
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke was around a long time, and
Mhm.
Carol Burnett, God, she was always on.
Yeah.
Yep.
She had great shows with
Yeah.
Harvey Korman and
Tim Conway
Tim
and
Conway. Oh yeah,
Vicki
they were
Lawrence.
great. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
great shows. She was a funny woman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, remember Mama's Family? Oh God,
Yeah.
that was fun.
I never watched that one though.
But each one
So
had
we're-
their specialties that they just really excelled in. That's for sure. But comedy
Yeah.
was there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had some. Who was that? Oh, Lionel Wagner was on that show.
Yeah, he was.
Mhm.
Yeah, Lyle Wagner, wasn't it?
Lyle. Yeah.
Lyle. Yeah,
Lyle.
Lyle Wagner. He was the tall, good-looking,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
good-looking guy. Yeah.
And Hee Haw. Yeah.
So what's new with you guys?
Well, I've
Nothing's
been working on a video today to kind of doing Autel Evo versus the Mavic Air 2. And I'm almost done with it. All I have to do tomorrow is I need to get some drone footage to put in there, and then I'm done.
That always helps when you're doing a drone video to have some drone footage.
That's
Yeah,
been
instead
my
of
problem.
me just talking,
That's an important
Yeah.
step. I that video I put out today on this thing, you know,
Yeah.
I've had most of that in the can for a week and a half, but I didn't have the flight footage yet with the GoPro, so I had to go out and get that. It's a rough
Scar
business,
Nation, that
ArtCo.
was the Jackie Gleason show, not Art Gleason.
Yeah, Jackie Gleason.
That's Art Carney was Norton.
Yeah, he was Ed Norton. Yeah,
Ed Norton.
Norton.
Yeah.
Robert
Now I know
Glazier
the
showed
problem.
up.
You solved it for me, Mitch. I've got it. I've just got to start putting drone footage on my drone channel.
In your drone.
There
channel.
you go. Yeah.
Well,
Funny how that all works out.
you fly all the time. I mean, you should have enough drone footage that you could retire now and just keep going in the can.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
called
Greg, welcome to the show. I was by drone.
Oh, hi, Greg.
Greg. Hello.
We had a good time. We had a
Good day.
good time on Greg's show last night.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, Greg. In fact, Cigar Warrior was busting on me earlier, and he said that basically, here's Mitch again. I can't go anywhere without seeing that guy. But no, it just so happened that last night, I think that was the second time I was on Greg's show, and the third time, not counting the one that didn't work the week before when
Yeah.
his Wirecast crashed. But no, everything seemed to work pretty good last night, and I thought
Yeah,
I had
that's
a good time.
good.
I thought it was a nice show. Lloyd was there, and
Now,
John.
didn't he go to an earlier version of Wirecast?
That's what he said. He got rid of the beta, downgraded to one that actually worked. Ray Kelly's happy I'm in my library tonight. Yeah, yeah. Well, you take all the time and energy and spend all the money to build these fabulous rooms. Every once in a while you got to go into them.
Hey, Mitch, do one of those things on the mantle, if you turn it, that the bookcase opens up and there's a secret passage?
Of course. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah.
That's his humidors hidden behind there to keep his
Yeah,
cigars.
there you go. You need
Yeah,
a bust of Shakespeare that opens up and you press a button and the door opens up and there's the bat pole.
Well, that takes us into this room when you go through that when you go into and that is that's the ballroom. That's where we that's where we have our dances. I mean, and I live in a
biggest
manufactured home
balls
too. I
at
mean,
the
this is a
mall.
hell of a I live in a manufactured home, guys, in a retirement community. But I tell you what, it's fabulous what they're doing to the interiors these days of these
It's
manufactured
phenomenal.
homes. It's unbelievable. From
I
the
thought-
outside, it looks like a double wide, but when you come inside, this is what you see.
I thought
fabulous.
that was your new FPV race hall.
I can do that. We can set up race calls there. I mean, here it's a hell of a kitchen too. Look at that, Art. That rivals your living room with the piano, Art, doesn't it?
There you go.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
What is that? About $50,000 of Viking cooking equipment there on the right-hand side.
Right. So don't make fun of the manufactured homes in retirement communities, guys.
Never.
You just don't know what you're missing. And then, if I get bored and I feel like shooting some pool, then I can.
There
I
you
can
go.
Here. I
Go
can
to the
here
billiard
Well, that's
room.
not a pool
into the
table. That's a
billiard
billiard
room.
table.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's fabulous.
That's a true billiard table.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, no holes.
Yep.
You know, what's ironic is my grandfather, which I never even knew. This is obviously decades and decades ago. We went to a pool hall. My dad and my grandfather. Three of us went down there. I was real young, and we went down there. And inside it was one of those you pay for the hour, and you get a
Right.
table. And they had two billiard tables, which I'd never seen before. And I just looked at that thing, and I'm looking around, going, what is this? My grandfather goes, I'll show you. He gets up there on the table, and he starts shooting it. Well, the owner came over, and he goes, you know how to play? He says, you want to play? And he goes, yeah. So the two of them. My grandfather, at this time, he was probably in his, I want to say probably in his 60s, wiped this guy's butt from one end to another. And he hadn't played in he probably hadn't played in a couple of decades. But what got me is when my grandfather, when we go to go, he goes and he opens up a case, and inside is a pool cue. And he brings the pool cue out, screws it together, and we proceed to play. Well, that's when I found out when we got back to the house is my grandfather used to own a pool hall when they lived in Mexico before they immigrated to the United States. And I'm going, the things you learn by just going to a pool hall.
Well, when I lived in Michigan, one of the houses my parents rented happened to have a pool table in the basement. And my grandfather used to come over, and my dad and my grandfather would play every night. My grandfather just kept winning and winning because he played pool as a young man in Chicago back in the the 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it got to when my dad started getting better and started beating him, he didn't want to play anymore.
Hey, Lloyd is in here. Lloyd reminded me that my home is a tornado magnet. Thanks, Lloyd.
Hey, Lloyd.
I'll sleep great tonight. Appreciate that.
Oh, laugh.
Actually, interestingly enough, with all I hate to say it, but with all the hurricanes that we've had since I've lived in Florida, and I've only been in this place where I am now for a little over 4 years, but we had 3 big hurricanes come through here in the past 4 years. I didn't all around me in where the homes were and everything, there was damage, and in my community and especially my house, there wasn't not a bent blade of grass. And one of the reasons is the location where I am. I'm very lucky. Not 100 some yards. I live 100 some yards off of the I-95. So they built this like 15-foot tall wall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Between me and the highway that not only does it block all the noise, but when the wind comes through here, that
Right.
wall blocks it. And then right on the other side of my house, I've got a huge stand of trees that blocks the wind coming from that way. So I've been lucky. Now a tornado, come through spinning, it's going to wreck anything. Where my son lives on the Intercoastal, it's kind of a ritzy neighborhood, and there's multi-million-dollar houses along there.
Wow.
Big houses, all concrete block and steel with tile roofs. And during one of the hurricanes, they had a tornado go through there and tore up some of those big houses, tore the roofs right off of them. So
Wow.
you just never know. You never know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I saw some actual drone footage on a couple of online news networks that I follow, and what a tragedy. It was great footage, but it just, huge warehouses just peeled the roofs right off these buildings, and the water level was above the loading dock. So the water was,
Wow.
coming in the truck bays. So the thing was completely submerged. So everything in the inside of that thing was probably, a total loss besides the building.
Who is this free to laugh now? Evidently new to your stream. Do we know him?
Nope.
I may have met him on one of the other channels, maybe.
Not that there's anything wrong with him. I wanted to compliment him. He's very sharp. He says, Mitch, do I detect a Delaware Valley accent? And I'm from Philadelphia, and very few people. I've been gone from Philadelphia since 1966. Okay? And every once in a while, somebody will will say, "You're from Philadelphia," and he picked it up. So,
Hmm.
what words did I say that gave it away? I'm curious.
I have a question. What do you mean by Delaware Valley? What is that?
That's Philadelphia. Delaware Valley is the Philadelphia area. It's Philly and that part of Jersey that borders on southern Pennsylvania and northern Delaware. They call it the Delaware Valley.
Oh, I used to.
You know
live
how
in
they call it, like in
Chesterfield
Ohio, they
County.
call it the Ohio Valley, or
Right.
yeah, yeah. I know it, because if I talked like
Hold on.
if I talked
We've
like
got
they
a
talk.
special guest coming in. Let's
Interrupt
welcome
me.
to the
much
show.
more important, much more important than me and what I was saying.
Ken Heron. Once he gets his-
God, where is he?
There I am.
Where is Ken?
You see me?
I can't
there he
believe it.
is.
I only have a minute, but I wanted to tell you, I can hear the Delaware Valley in your accent because I'm from the
You-
Delaware Valley.
I know you are, Ken.
And I hope to God I still have a Delaware Valley accent.
Really?
I pray to the Lord, baby Jesus, that I do. Because I've been living in the
That's-
South for forever. And my ex-wife actually told me the other day that I have a Southern accent. And I wanted to blow my brains out.
Yeah. You know, there's a few words, Ken. They don't say, and I remember my mother, they don't say the whole thing. They say the whole thing, the whole thing. They don't say $5, they say $5.
$5.
Yeah, they, of course,
Yeah.
anything like coffee or talk.
Coffee,
Or,
yeah.
Or
Yep.
Bura.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, there you go.
Oh,
You got water. You got Bura. My
Yeah.
my grandmother would actually speak with that old-timey mid-Atlantic accent you heard in the movie a little bit. You know, the one that they put on? You know what I'm talking about?
Now,
Give us
a
here's-
sample of it. Go ahead.
Oh, my goodness. Google mid-Atlantic accent, which is a mixture between, which is why they say it's mid-Atlantic, between America and the UK. So
okay,
anytime you
okay.
see an old-timey movie, what was one of those famous movie ladies? I can't even name any of them, but you know, they was like, "Oh, darling, yes, I would very
I
much
get
like to see you. I'd very much like to come over and see you today. It's wonderful." You know, that kind of thing. It's a totally made-up accent.
A lot of Hollywood people put that on, and it's so phony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I have found myself southern twanging once in a while, unintentionally, and you know, you got to blend with the local natives, I guess.
Well,
I hope nobody thinks I'm from Tennessee. Not that that's an insult. I love Tennessee. In fact, my favorite thing about Tennessee is their economy. Because if I lived anywhere else, I'd be living under.
yeah.
oh,
Oh,
Uh-oh.
there you go.
Must
Art,
have been on that
you didn't
white-
have to kick. He was behaving. You didn't have to throw him out. It's okay. You know.
Must have been on that wire crash network.
Yeah.
I think he was on his cell phone. Tell you the truth.
Yeah,
Ken,
Oh,
come
boy.
back.
because
Yeah, come back,
tablet or
Ken.
cell phone.
Come back. Oh,
Yeah.
there he is. He's back. What happened?
Was it something we said?
Maybe I didn't pay my internet bill.
No, maybe Henry pulled the cable. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either that, or they heard you talking about Tennessee and tried to badmouth them.
Tennessee. Yeah.
That's what it is. Comcast said, "What that guy talking about? Pull the plug on him. Pull the plug." Yeah. Anyway, I only have a minute to hang out, or 5 more minutes. I got to make a call here. But
Okay.
Art, you looking good, Art, with your golden microphone. Art, you
Yep.
still here?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm here.
Oh, he's
Art
lagging.
Art doesn't talk much on his own stream, does he?
No, that's why we that's what we like, Art. So we come in here to make sure that that we keep his show going for him.
Yeah,
And he does
the
the same for me. Art comes into all my live streams, and I appreciate it. He's the comic relief on my show.
Yeah, if you watch Mitch's latest video, you'll hear some of my witty quips that I throw into his live stream.
I flew it, Ken. I flew it. The one that I built.
Oh yeah.
I flew this and I made a video and put it on my channel today. And and part of that video there was a couple minutes a clip of one of my live streams where Art was really busting up. So that's in there, but it really flew well. I mean, I love this thing. I had no idea that these Cinewhoops you could fly them so smooth and stable.
Yeah. Do you have a GoPro on there?
Yeah, it's the first. This is the first quad. You know, I'm fairly new at this. I think you and I have been doing it about the same time, but I don't have your guts about breaking stuff, so I tend to be a lot more careful than you are. And this is the first time I actually took my one GoPro, which I paid $400 for back when, the Hero 7, and worked up the guts to actually throw it on a quad and watch it fly off into the sunset, and it worked great. The video was super.
Have you
from
used Real Steady yet?
No, I haven't. I've heard about it, but I haven't tried it.
It's really amazing. It really does work, and it only works with GoPros, and it only works if you have the GoPro electronic image stabilization turned off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You mean you can't use it on your DJI Air Unit footage?
Nope.
Well, that's a rip.
Huh.
No, which is why I have these. These are as good as gold. These Hero Session 5s.
Oh, God, yeah. What are you doing with 3 of them, man?
I had 4 until I smashed it into a pillar in Birmingham.
Yeah.
You know what I did, Ken? I bought 2 of them from Amazon. Had the refurbished ones, $139. I bought 2 of them. I said, "Wow, that's a great price for." That's the same price as a Runcam 5, almost. You know, so I bought 2 of them.
I've been looking for to have my 4th one back, but refurb, does that include a new battery? Because that's
no,
the biggest
and that
thing.
that was the problem, and I ended up sending them both back because the batteries wouldn't last 5 minutes. They clean them up, they look new.
Right, they refurb them.
Yeah. Right, refreshed. They call it refreshed. They take and they pour some water on it, and they refresh it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But the batteries.
If you're looking to buy a Session or any kind of used action camera, generally the ones with the proprietary battery inside that you can't access, like on the Session, you're going to have to really roll the dice there on the used one, because the battery is the thing that. And I'll show you. Here's my 4th one. Now this isn't just the lens. Yeah,
well, you can fix that.
The whole thing inside. Here, the funny thing is, the battery is great on this, but I don't even know if you can. Can you open these up?
There's
That's
a
what I'm
video
gonna
on
ask
YouTube.
you.
There's a video on YouTube where a guy shows you how to do it. It's like the videos that show you how to replace the battery in your iPhone. You know, you got all the plastic prying tools and your heat guns to soften the adhesive, and be very careful when you take this little piece out, because you'll tear up the ribbon cable, and then make sure you a jeweler.
Well,
if you're a jeweler,
with this one, it not only is it cracked on the lens, I would have replaced that, but the whole case is, like if you have a motorcycle crash and the frame is bent a little bit, then it's total.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you can't just buff it out, huh?
No. Yeah, maybe I'll sell it as a refurb.
Yeah, there you go. Just buff it out. It'll be fine.
You can buy that lens scratch repair stuff tube, and you just go over it and just go down and see if you can cover it up, and it's refurb.
Yeah, like that stuff that people used to buy to fix the scratches on their DVDs.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, hey, I gotta go, you guys. I gotta make a phone call here. But
Take
thank
care,
you
Ken.
Thanks
for having me on the
coming in.
stream. Hello, everybody in the chat that I didn't have a chance to chat with, and I'll see you guys later. And
All right,
bye.
Ken. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, that was nice.
That's good. Free to laugh is posted in there. Sell it as gently worn or vintage.
Yeah. I love that frame. Buff it out. You know, the guys. You know, just buff it out a little. That'll fix it right up. That's funny.
Hey, I want to say hello to Rigor Mortis and Grant, Mr. Stay Drunk.
How you doing, guys? That
well, it's about
time.
That time.
Okay,
it is time for
candy time.
Toffee Trivia. Alrighty.
I'm blurry again. Jesus.
What's the matter with your
You're
camera?
just not as
Mitch?
sharp as
I don't
usual,
know.
Mitch.
Come back.
There you go.
That's how you do it. You got to reach out and grab that focus, man. Bring it right back to you. Got to go for it in life. Just reach out and grab it.
Either that or come in with a little square and
it's
say,
time for Toffee Trivia, and I have no idea what I'm going to talk about tonight. Well, okay. Something easy. It's okay. World War II trivia. Navy. What was the name of the German aircraft carrier? Probably didn't even know they built one. Yes, they did, but they never used it. So the first one that gets it is the winner. And make sure you are a resident of the U.S. Well, Grant, if you do win it again, then you could give it to someone else. But Steve, you can play. Mitch, you can play. You can Google it. You are eligible.
Yeah, but I don't want it. I told you. I know the answer. I just... If you believe that, I got a bridge for you in Brooklyn. I don't see any answers. I see Graf Zeppelin, which is not an aircraft carrier, I don't think.
Art is doing what I suggested. Wait till enough people come in and then he can pick through.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's saying Graf Zeppelin. Wow. The German aircraft Graf Zeppelin. That was the name. Oh, was that the name of the carrier? Ten Toes has quoted a whole entire story about it.
All right, time's up. Thomas Ariels, you got it, but I told you it's I can't send this to the UK. It'd be too expensive. So we will go to the next winner, which is Mike B, aka the Drone Ranger.
Hey!
It is
Hey,
Graf
Mike.
Zeppelin. And after World War II, the Russians got a hold of the Graf Zeppelin and they used it for target practice. Yeah, why do something nutty like, I don't know, maybe refurbish it and have your own aircraft carrier in the Russian Navy? I don't know. That'd be too silly.
Or what they were doing is there was an early form of what we call here nowadays by a group. It's called ships to reef, They take
Yeah.
old ships and they get them completely stripped down, and then they take them off the coast and they're submersing them. They sink them and turn them into reefs, and you can go diving on them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's right. I believe the Oriskany was one of them.
We were supposed to actually get one here off the shore coast of Dana Point, but I don't know what happened to it. In fact,
Really?
because we have the nuclear power plant down here that was shut down, San Onofre, and part
Right.
of San Diego Gas and Electric, who is one of the owners besides Edison, they've had to redo all these reefs on the shoreline, and they just finished over 10 months of barges out
Wow.
there bringing rock structures in and everything else, and it's going to an actual natural reef.
Right.
In the Gulf of Mexico, years ago, we used to scuba dive in the Gulf. They would sink all kinds of stuff out there.
Yep.
And they made great dive sites because the marine
Oh,
life
yeah.
was incredible around them. Yeah.
We have a couple of locations here. If you look real closely, you don't want to go diving at that. Were disposal sites during World War II, and I don't want to go finding
nuclear
out what's
waste.
there.
Yeah, nuclear waste. Yeah, the fish glow in the dark. That's how you can tell.
Well, over here, just off the shore, I don't want to say too much, but it's anybody's familiar where Laguna Beach would be, south of Newport Beach, if people have heard it. There's actually a DC-3 airframe that went down, and it's off that. It's in diveable depths out there. So unless
There's
you're
a,
knowing locals, they've kept it really hidden.
There's an island in the Bahamas called Chub Key.
Yeah.
Now it's spelled Cay, and everybody says they call them K, but they pronounce it Key. They pronounce
Right.
that Key. They just
Right.
spell it Cay. So in Chub Key is a great scuba diving operation. They've got a hotel, big dining room, a huge boat they call the dance floor. It's like 30 by 40-foot platform with 3 pontoons, and you can put 40 people on that thing. And if you look on the map and you find Chub Key, it's at the southern end of the Bury Islands. It's north of Nassau, south of Grand Bahama, Freeport, and to the east a little bit. The Bury Islands are like a ring, and at the very bottom of the Bury Islands, there's a underwater cliff that comes in, and it's shaped like a tongue, and they call it the tongue of the ocean. So from Chub Key, you go a couple miles offshore to the south, you're at a wall that goes from 90 feet down to about 10,000 feet. And
Wow.
right along the south shore of that island, they actually had an airplane, like a Piper Cherokee or something, that crashed at the airport out there. So they cut the wings off of it and they towed it out to about 30 feet of water, and they sunk it and made a dive site out of it.
Oh,
And
cool.
and the water's so clear that you can see it as clear as day when you go over the top of
Oh,
it. It
cool.
looks like the airplane landed on the bottom in 30 feet of water.
Hey, let's
It was always
welcome Mike
great place.
of GFO
Mike.
Drone and Tech Guy. Welcome. Like I said earlier, Mike just got over the corona.
Yep.
So, Mike, tell us about it.
The worst part of it was I lost my sense of taste. I mean, soda, no matter what, everything tasted like water. And then when it came to food, I could only taste salty, garlic, and bitter. That's it. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was weird. So, but thankfully, I'm finally getting my sense of taste back. Went back to work yesterday. So, glad to be getting back to work and getting back to life as normal.
Yeah. Good to hear.
So
Very good.
I just want to make a correction. 10 Toes, you are the next winner because you were the next one down. Mike B said pass it to the next one. So congratulations, Tom. Alrighty, so And
That's cool.
Yeah. So we were talking about sinking ships to make reefs.
Yeah.
The USS Oriskany was made a reef a few years back. That was one of the Forrestal carriers,
Mhm.
and it was used in Vietnam, and that was also the ship that John McCain was on.
Right.
Yeah.
Was he on before or after the Forrestal accident?
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
To a
Steve,
cold
I wore my
start.
hat for you tonight, man.
What was that, Mike?
I wore my hat for you tonight.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh,
I'm not wearing a hat because I got my hair cut, so I look somewhat human being again. And I do emphasize somewhat.
oh wow. Our Mindoro journey. I wish them a quick and full recovery.
Yeah. That's not good. Well, I found a good use for my Mavic Air 2 with the firmware update. I took it out to test the zoom functions on it, and
Right?
flown it only twice with the zoom functions. And the first time I just tapped it, and then I remembered going, well, there's got to be a way to scroll it. So I went to Aldrin Flight Path and saw his little tutorial that he did on it about holding down the function button and then using
Yeah.
the gimbal tilt on it
Yep.
and zooming it. Well, put the aircraft up there on the air here at the house. I can zoom all the way down and watch Doheny and watch the surf coming in down there, zoom into it. So I was just thinking, well, this is kind of cool. So I'm going, wait a second. So I yaw over, heading north from the view I'm going west to our local Costco store. I gained some altitude, tilted the gimbal down, and I can see how crowded it is from here on out. So I can put my bird up in the air, zoom in, and find out if there's any line for the gas line or how crowded it's going to be in order to get in the door. So when I put it up there, I told my wife, I said, hey, guess what? We can do this before going to Costco from here out going forward.
Man, that is a real convoluted way to find out if it's crowded there. All right, hey Steve, I just went off and grabbed this picture off my wall to show you because we were talking about this subject. So I'm going to show you this.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Nice.
Nice.
Make it big, Art. So
Oh yeah.
So-
Okay.
yeah.
Let's see how. Okay,
So-
there we go.
This is the airplane I was telling you about at Chub Key,
Right.
and we had all just finished diving this thing, and all got up to the boat, and along comes the shark, and so I had a waterproof camera, so I stuck my camera, from the dive platform down into the water, and got a picture of the shark swimming over the airplane, and I thought that was,
What kind of shark is that, Mitch?
I think it's a black tip, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
What I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a black tip, but that was a big shark too.
Yeah, it looks
But
like
they don't bother you. They don't bother you. One of the other
Now, how
guys had a
deep-
picture, 30 feet,
How
about
deep were
30
you
feet.
there, Mitch? May I ask?
I'm actually on the boat, kind of just sticking the camera down in the water from the.
Oh,
from the,
that's
from the
shallow.
boat. Yeah, we finished diving. Yeah, it's 30 feet, about 30 feet deep there, and. One of the other guys got a picture that I never got a copy because this was all film back then. This wasn't digital, so you couldn't just email a copy to somebody. But there was about 10 or 12 divers down there, and the shark comes swimming up, and everybody was hiding behind the airplane on the other side of the airplane, and all you could see in the picture was a huge wall of air bubbles coming up from behind the airplane. But this picture was taken after we all got back on the boat. Anyway, it was kind of. I thought you'd get a kick out of that since we were.
Oh yeah,
we were
that's a great
talking about
shot.
it. Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, it is.
it's kind of getting faded over the years. That picture was taken in the 1970s.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've got a cool shot that it wasn't of me because I was the one taking the pictures. Is when I was diving off the, we were off the coast of Molokai, and we were diving there. And the dive buddy that I got set up with, this guy was 6'2", and so we were just sitting there, and there was a good current running around because they had dropped us off and then had the recovery boat down away from us. And so he's sitting there, and he wanted me to get a picture and like laying on his side with him going like this, and he wanted to take back to his wife. And so he's got this picture, and all of a sudden, here comes this white tip behind him that's 11 foot. Because we knew how big he was, so we were able to size it up to him. And he's just sitting there, and I'm just sitting there going, oh, God, is this going to be great? So I kept on firing the camera off as quick as I could get it.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Well, I wish we had GoPros that we could have taken underwater back in those days.
I think the best place I've ever dived was Diego Garcia, Indian Ocean. That was awesome.
Well, I've never
Wow.
been there.
I've never heard. Whereabouts did you dive there?
Inside the lagoon there.
Oh, okay.
You can't go on the outside because they got great whites out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, them great whites are huge. But we did dive the lagoon. We saw some really big sea turtles. We saw dolphins out there. It was like diving in an aquarium. It was really cool.
You know, over in Cozumel, Steve, is some of the best diving in the northern hemisphere.
Probably about 70% of most underwater footage is shot there.
Yeah, they and you get a nice current going by there, so you do drift diving, which is really cool. But the visibility in those waters is like they call it gin clear. It's just crystal clear. I've never seen even in the Bahamas. It's not that clear, but tremendous diving.
That's the way the lagoon was over in Diego.
Yeah,
Crystal
at least
clear.
200, I would say 150, 200 feet of visibility.
Wow.
And that current just brings all that water in from the Gulf, and it's just gorgeous.
Right.
Yeah, I know the Caribbean. I know El Smudgehead saying he's Dominican Republic. I dove over in that area there, dove off the coast of Haiti, off St. John's Island. I dove when I was there. There's beautiful areas, but like Cozumel is gorgeous.
Yeah,
Absolutely
Cozumel,
gorgeous.
the reefs there are just gorgeous, gorgeous.
One of my buddies got to dive off of Great Barrier Reef. I was like, you lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A friend of mine
the
that,
great white sharks, you know.
He was a paramedic for LA County Fire Department, and he, the two of us actually used to teach together when I taught for the American Heart Association, American Red Cross. We were both instructors for CPR. We would teach instructors, new people coming in to become instructors. And him and his dad, every year, that was their vacation. They would fly to the Great Barrier Reef, Mike, every single year at a different location and dive. And then spend a week on a dive boat there and just have a wonderful time out there.
I bet. I mean, that's beautiful, especially if you can get a good underwater camera and everything. I mean, back when I was doing it, when I was in Diego, I mean, that was years ago. So I had 35 millimeter film inside a little water box.
Yeah.
A little cheap camera that we could find, and that's what we were diving with. And I wish I still had most of the pictures.
That's all I had on that one where we took a picture and got that white tip. I rented one there for the day, and the group that we were with, there were a bunch of amateur underwater photographers. So they had the full array with lights and everything. Thank goodness I got the pictures of the shark, because man, they started firing and that shark was out of there with all the strobes going off.
Oh, I bet.
Hey, I want to say hello to Suzuki Vlogs, official channel. She's originally from Japan, but she lives in Hong Kong. And Margie Malaya Vlog, she's from the Philippines. Let's I wanted to say hello to, and El Smeghead is here. Welcome, welcome. And also wanted to say James from My PI Dream, if you are ready and you are finished with your breakfast, come on in. I sent you a link, and you are welcome to jump on in.
Yeah,
We'll talk about studio equipment for doing a live stream. You know, I'm using a newer mic that's hooked up to a Tascam mixer, and I've got a LED panel as one of my lights, and then I have one of those aluminum bell, with the light in that has a clamp. You could clamp it on anything, and it's got like a 40-watt bulb. And what else?
Fluorescent?
Just
using fluorescent?
in the bell I don't clamp? Know.
Actually, the best thing you can use is fluorescent lighting. You don't even bother with halogen.
Fluorescent or tungsten.
Right.
I think it's fluorescent. Your color balance set right with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fluorescent, the balance comes out good, and less heat.
I'm using LEDs here. I've got these LED panels, and you can adjust the color temperature. They have some of the yellower bulbs, some of the whiter bulbs, and you adjust. And I got them set on the full white. I like the full white setting.
You running 5,000 K or?
I think it's it's at least 5K, if not cooler than that.
Some of them will go to 6,000. I know.
These are
hey,
some.
Bob Casey is here. How you doing, Bob?
Hello,
Casey.
Bob.
Oh yeah.
I just speaking of studios, Art. I just did some rearranging of my studio.
Right.
And
you moved it into the library.
I did. Yeah. Here, let me show you what I did here. It kind of looks the same, but I had a little tiny monitor over here that I replaced with a 32-inch. So now I have two of the same size monitors on each side. And I used to have that that microphone on the arm attached right to here.
Okay.
And it used to come across in front of this. And what I did now, you can't see it on this camera, but I have it kind of sneaking in from the left way down low. So it's much lower. In fact, you might, if you turn on, make me bigger.
I can see it a little bit right behind your name there.
Make me bigger for a second, and you'll see it. Yeah, it's right here.
There,
see?
okay.
And I keep it down low, and I can push it this way. See. And that's why I asked you if you could hear me, because it's not right in front of me. It's off to the side, but it doesn't get in the way. It doesn't get in the way now. So that was a big improvement. Okay, you can make me small again.
All right.
By the way,
and if you enjoy seeing the gorgeous slickness on my head, we'll leave this.
If you keep that view, I'm to get my sunglasses.
Okay, we'll give you this one. Well, you won't have to. I'm gonna be bugging out of here in a few minutes, so you won't have to be putting up with me too much longer. I'm gonna leave it to you guys. I gotta save something to talk about tomorrow night, because I gotta shoot it too. So I'll be watching. I'm gonna go outside, do what I do, light up a cigar, relax, and I'll be watching the chat. So thanks for having me in, Art. I always enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Always
good.
A pleasure having you on and keeping me company.
Yeah, well, and you do the same for me. And it's tough to be there all by yourself, just
Yeah,
try
it
to
is.
figure out what to talk about. So always happy to do it. Steve, good to see you.
Good
Mike,
to see you,
glad you're
Mitch.
feeling better, and
Thank you, Mitch.
everybody in the chat. I will see you tomorrow night. And what I'm going to do, if you don't mind a short plug, what I'm going to do tomorrow night is start building on that little tiny little dart
Oh, that
fixed wing. I'm
okay.
going to actually start working. You know, we're actually do some workshop stuff tomorrow night, so it'll be kind of
Cool.
Well, that'd be
of
cool.
fun.
Nice.
All right, take the rest of the day off, everybody.
All
Have
right.
a good
Take
night,
care.
Mitch.
Take care.
Good night, Mitch.
See, he bugged out and without walking back behind to pull which Shakespeare book down so we could see where that humidor was hidden behind. He
Yeah,
bailed
there you
out
go.
too quickly.
Yeah. By the way, Steve, talking about studio stuff, I took your advice and I got the battery pack for the DSLR camera I'm using for my webcam,
Right?
and don't have to change out battery packs now. Works like a dream, and it was only like 15 or 16 bucks on Amazon.
Yeah.
Cool.
The third party vendors that are out there making those things, most of them are all doggone good.
Yeah. So I'm not actually
Well-
using the webcam art. I'm using a DSLR camera that
Right.
I'm running a stream off of that plugs into my laptop.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. And what kind of laptop are you using?
I have a HP laptop that I kind of beefed up, put some more RAM in.
Okay.
I'm running 16 gigs of RAM on an HP laptop, so
Right.
it works pretty good. And then if my signal starts lagging out, I can always switch off to the desktop behind me. I've got dual
Right.
monitors for it, and that's hardwired into my network, so I don't have to worry about the lag.
Ah, that's good. That's good. When I was on James' show a couple weeks ago, he was having audio issues with this mic, and he just ordered a new mic, and he was running off of I think a Mac notebook,
Mm-hmm.
but it was an older one from 2012,
Yeah.
and that's why it was overheating. But I thought, his show was pretty good. He didn't have too many issues other than with that microphone. So he's in the Philippines, so it's going to be a while before that stuff that he just ordered shows up.
Well, Art, I don't know what it is, but it's gotten worse, at least for what I'm seeing on StreamYards. And because I'm not listening to the audio on YouTube, your video and audio are out of sync.
Oh, it is?
And it's gotten
Yeah,
worse.
I think it might be.
I'm noticing that now that you
vMix.
figured it out.
I'm using vMix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm using the external. So it's being fed through StreamYard now. When I'm on Mitch's show, I don't use it. I just use my regular webcam and my,
Right.
I don't use the virtual line in.
Well, on vMix, I know you can in OBS, but on vMix, you should be able to do a damper between the audio and the video signal. There's probably settings on there, because I know there are for OBS, because I have friends of mine that run it, and you can do it. Because when I was testing with Sean last night, because he had that problem of the lag. One of them is probably his internet speed. That's probably the first one. In which everybody in the world right now has got a problem with, internet connections and speeds being buffered with so many people on. But what it was is he took his audio and put it into his video switcher. So his audio comes out of his box. So it comes XLR with his mic going in, and then an output directly to the video switcher, and then from there it's going straight into his computer. So then his audio and video were synced together.
I see.
Because he's running it on a camera, a regular camera like Mike is. And that was one way, because then now the audio is coming through where the video is coming through. It's not a separate audio feed and a separate video feed. And boy, he was just boom, dead on until you could see some buffering with his internet. He shut down a bunch of extra tabs that he had open, and then it cleared it up.
See, I tried running external audio with my wireless microphones, and it just wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had so many problems with it. I had echoes. I had all kinds of problems.
Right.
So, I just ditched that, and I'm actually just using the audio on my laptop, the microphone on my laptop.
It's coming in clear.
There.
Because, like, for me right now, I'm not using, because I have a board. I will be doing that because I've got my stuff all torn up here in my office. I'm getting it ready to get everything moved around and bringing another monitor in.
Right.
Because I've got a mixing board I'll put on there, but I'm using just a Yeti mic on a USB straight into the computer, and then the audio is connected to the Yeti. So it should be, for me, everybody coming in. So I'm getting it directly on the feed.
Yeah, yours looks good. Yours sounds good, and everything matches up good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
do
you have any extra? Do you have any extra tabs open and any other thing else in your browser?
I just closed. Oh, for me.
Art.
I just closed Facebook, and I had my Gmail open, so I only have this and YouTube. That's it. Is that a little bit better?
Facebook open.
Take care, Brent.
All right. Good night, Brent.
Good night,
Good
Brent.
to have you here.
Yeah, I was trying to do that whole using the wireless mics thing because I have those wireless microphone packs from Movo, and for some reason I either get an echo or I'm not able to hear anybody's audio. So I just scrapped that for now.
Right.
Well, anything you can do anytime you're going to be on wire, because I mean, for the company, my electrical contractor, I was a network designer. I did all the network designing for everything we put in. We put in network systems for school districts. And anytime you want to do anything with computers, you want to hardwire your live stream in, get away from wireless, hardwire it in. And that was one of the things I was trying to get Sean to do, which would help him. And he may not even have to upgrade his internet. But anytime you can get away from wireless on anything, one of the things I suggested for him, because he wanted to start off his show, so instead of having a countdown timer, he's just going to have his camera zoomed into his old video game, like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, all that kind of game. He's got a game. He's going to have it zoomed in with that. And I thought, well, if you have your earbuds in, until he brings his guests in, he could still hear us talking with him, because he could just have us sitting in the green room, but we could talk to him still. He could hear us until he sat down, and then pop them out and then put on his headphones or his earbuds. Yeah, good news. Thank you, Bob.
Nice. And I don't think the problem was with the wireless, Steve. I think it was just the fact that the way it was echoing through my speakers. Now, if I put on headphones, it was working right. But I was just catching an echo and feedback through that microphone.
Through the wireless mic.
Yeah. Well, any kind of mic I was using, any kind of external mic I was using, I was catching some kind of weird feedback. So, I mean, I've got my A+ and CCNA and all that stuff. So, I'm pretty well versed in computers, and I just got to the point where I got frustrated with it and just scrapped the whole idea and said, this mic on my laptop's working good, so I'm going to keep rolling with that.
Well, a lot of people do too. Is you got to be afraid of is like when you get accessory USBs and they'll like this.
Yeah.
They're great for having it in, but like any of your direct audio or video, you want to have that going straight into the USB ports of the computer.
Well,
Then
see, I had mine wired right into the microphone jack. The receiver for the Movo was wired directly into the microphone jack.
Nice.
And then I was wearing the wireless lapel. And like I said, I was still catching feedback and all kinds of stuff through the speakers and stuff.
Yeah, in fact, I've got to replace the mic jack on my desktop. It went out.
Oh man!
The rear one works, so it's just the front. I just got to get just get the cable and just put it in there and replace it, because I'm going to be tearing it open anyways to dump some new hard drives in it.
We're actually looking at getting ready to go look at a house. So if we do, it's got enough bedrooms that I can take one of them and turn them into a permanent studio, thankfully.
Hey, Sean, Geets Vana.
That would be
to the
cool.
show. And I want to say hello to my friend Cleve Tidwell.
Yeah. I was going to mention that back. I know you put it up there. I was going to mention your friend.
Yeah, he's a droner here in Colorado. He's in the Denver area.
Mm-hmm.
The house we're looking at, Steve, actually has 5 bedrooms, and it's only listed for $35,000.
What?
Yeah. So the neighborhood.
Okay, now what's the catch here?
That's what I'm going.
What's wrong with it?
That's what I'm going to look at. I'm gonna go look at the electrical and the plumbing and everything and make sure that's all good. Honestly, I think it's the neighborhood kind of. The neighborhood's kind of gotten older, and the house was built in like 59, so it's an older house.
Oh, on a cemetery?
No cemetery. It was originally listed for like 60, but it's been on the market so long they've dropped it down to 35.
Oh man.
So,
and where is this at? What state are you in?
I'm in Georgia.
Oh, Georgia.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm right above pretty much everyone else. I'm right next to the Okefenokee Swamp.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. They backfilled it. The swamp used to be there, and it's sitting on the swamp. It's just been backfilled.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Did you ever see any of my flights or anything where I swing out and there's a whole bunch of trees and everything back there? That's all the Okefenokee Swamp, like literally behind where I live right now. We're so close. Cool. We've gotten snakes, we've gotten coyotes in the yard, we've gotten bobcats in the yard. We have a panther out here. We've seen alligators all around us. So part of living on the edge of the swamp.
Wow. Well, you need one of those trail cams.
Honestly, I thought about that because the one night we have, let's see, behind the house here, we have a cattle farmer, and literally I'm pretty sure the coyotes were in his pasture the other night. That's how loud they were.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was like probably a good 10 or 15 of them because they were calling back and forth to each other like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on my fishing channel, I think it was the latest video that I did while I was fishing. You could hear in the background, you could hear the coyotes howling.
I remember.
And I'm like going, holy cow. And they sounded like they were right behind me. But boy, they were making a racket.
I have a backpack gun. It's a 9mm that folds up, slides down in my backpack. And literally anytime we go anywhere near the swamp or where we hunt or anything, if I'm just going out to check trail cams and whatever, I carry a pistol and I carry that because we've got hogs here. And the one hog we shot out at the hunting club took 2 4-wheelers to pull that joker out, and one of the 4-wheelers got stuck while they were pulling it out.
Oh, man.
Hogs are here. Yeah, they're 350, 400 pounds.
Yeah.
They'll mess you up real quick.
Oh, yeah, especially when there's like, 20 or 30 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because these things don't travel solo.
Nope. They pack just like the coyotes do and the wolves do.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I've literally seen one of the guys here. He got caught on the ground. It literally took his calf muscle and detached it off of his leg. One
Oh.
good slice.
Oh,
So yeah, I don't mess around with hogs.
So
yep.
If I'm a
you
home
got
hog,
a
I'm gonna be
you
up in
got
a
a
tree somewhere.
you got a panther. You see, you got a panther that comes around your house.
Oh yeah, we've got a couple. In fact, my buddy lives dang near directly in the middle of the city, and we were sitting out behind his house one night, and he's got an owl that goes up in the trees right around his house,
Mm-hmm.
and that owl let out one of the loudest hoots I've ever heard, and right after that, panther screamed, and I'm talking when this panther screamed, this thing, we actually saw the eye shine. That's how close this thing was. We ran inside
Wow.
and grabbed all the guns we could because he's got a real big German Shepherd, and the eye shine was higher than that German Shepherd, and it was on the ground.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's
let's
a
welcome
big
to the
cat.
show James from My PI Dream.
What's up, James?
Welcome, James.
Hey,
Hi,
good morning,
James.
guys. Oh, am I on?
Yep.
Yeah, you're on.
Hey, glad to be able to join you guys this morning. I just had to. I hooked up all the stuff. This is part of the stuff I want to talk with you about, Art, and maybe the other guys that are logged into the broadcast
All
this
right,
morning.
we're
It
here
has to
for it.
do, yeah, it has to do with the streaming, all your streaming stuff. So I told you, and I overheard you talking a little bit earlier that I bought some new stuff, and I did buy some new stuff. A lot of it's not here yet; it's still on the way. But for right now, how is this? How is
Your
the video?
audio is just perfect.
Is
Sounds
the audio?
great. Audio's
Are you?
good, nice and clear picture.
Do you see
Yep.
what I'm using? You see what I'm?
What is that?
This is a Zoom H6. It's actually a multi-track recorder used
Oh yeah.
to put multi-layers down. Some people use these for if they're doing conferences, and they'll set
Yeah.
that up in the center in the conference. Or some people use them for podcasts and things like that. But this is mainly for me. This is for doing multi-track recording. I'll put a guitar. I'll lay a guitar layer down, and then another guitar layer.
Right.
And then I'll do a vocal track and then a bass layer. So I can actually do up to 6 tracks on here. Maybe 4 instruments and a vocal and a background vocal, or maybe my wife will do a vocal on here too. But that's what this is used for. And I just found out the other day, consequently after I ordered a replacement mic, that I actually had something sitting inside my garage down here that I could actually use. And if it's clear, then I could possibly use this for a while. But what I do know about the limitation for this, it is super sensitive. I was going to sit outside, but it's really windy this morning. We have some weather coming in, and
Right.
the wind was blowing. This picks up everything, every single thing. If you hear the wind blow and the leaves on the trees in the backyard or anything like that, you'll hear the dogs barking. You'll hear the roosters from the farm, 2 kilometers away. You'll hear everything on here. So sorry about my background. I don't have a beautiful Denver mountain scene behind me like you have. I don't have maybe another time once I get the other mic, because the other mic I ordered it's a Samsung. Samsung.
Right.
I think it's called G-Track Pro, I believe is the name of it. So I did a bunch of Googling and looked at what other people are using and watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and it seemed like
Yeah.
that's a really good one. It's got the cardioid.
Right.
You got the G.
I've got-
yeah, you got
I've
the
got
H4.
I've got the 4, and I was gonna say it's a great unit for a portable unit, being able to carry it around and use it, and you can use it for mixing or wherever, like you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, and the mics on them are phenomenal.
And you know what else is neat about the Zoom is they have the processing. You can do the post edit right on the unit itself. So if you want to increase the bass, treble, the separation, left and right channel, move them apart like you would normally do if you're producing music, you can do that right on the Zoom. It's kind of cool. The only thing it doesn't do, I have several multi-track recorders still back in our house in the U.S., which I'll be sending over here whenever we get out of the Philippines and go back and make a balikbayan box and send over. But I have some Roland equipment and some Boss equipment. I have a 8-track and a 16-track digital multi-track recording system that we do for the real complex stuff. And what's nice about that, it has some really neat sound effects. You know, like when Art does the echo, whoa, 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 the echo sound, things like. Yeah, it will do.
You mean like this?
Yeah, like that. That's cool. But
Nah,
yeah, it will do.
I
Those
can also do this too.
So I'll be bringing that over because I want to. I'm in the process of writing some songs, and I want to be able to put that on a
There you
really
go.
good system. The H6 is good for a draft. You can put stuff together, and you can get an idea what it'll sound like. But you really need something that has where you can add some reverb or maybe some dampening effects or lots of different things. That's what the other ones will do. But well, Art, I wanted to ask you. So I guess I sent you out a couple of emails, and it took a while for you to get back. But I didn't know that you were having such a hard time with your vehicle and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you're working on getting all that straightened out.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the check, and then I could get started on looking at a car. I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace, and found a few vehicles in the price range I'm looking for. I'm looking at Toyotas like Corollas and Camrys, because Toyotas are like tanks. They'll last forever.
That's what we
And
have.
you-
That's
Yeah, you have the Hilux, don't you?
I got the Hilux. Love it. It's a great vehicle. And before
Yep.
the Hilux, back in the U.S. because they don't sell the Hilux in the U.S. I had the
Yeah.
Tundra. I loved I hated to get rid of that, but it had been sitting inside a garage for like 3 years, literally 3 years sitting in the garage, not putting any miles on it. So I said, well, it's totally no use to me. So I got rid of it while I still could get some a good valuation back on it. But when I did have, it was a 2010. I had a 2011. My wife's
Wow.
Toyota is a 2010. 2011, I had 22,000 miles on it. I sold it.
Wow.
I sold it last year when we went home. The last time we were able to go home on vacation.
Right.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
that.
James lives over by Charleston, South Carolina. Now, are you originally from South Carolina?
Actually, no. A lot of people don't know this. I'm originally from New York. I was born in Queens, and yeah, my mother's from New York, and my father was in the Navy. And that's where he met my mom, and they got married, and we stayed there until I was about 9 or 10 years old, and then we moved to South Carolina, where my father's from. So I'm like half Yankee, half Southerner, so half and half.
Well, great.
So James, question for you: when you do the tracks with that Zoom microphone, are you editing with the Zoom? Or are you using a different audio program to edit to drop all your tracks in?
Since this is basically just to do draft, none of my finals ever go on this one right here. This is if I have a concept down in my mind and I want to capture it so I don't forget about it. I'll do it on here, and it will give you a good enough. You can actually produce on this, but what I normally do is I take the concept from here, and then I go back and I re-record it on the Roland, like the 16-track recorder, where I can actually get the sounds that I want. But you can finalize. You can finalize everything on here, and it works just like the more complex systems, like the Roland, the 16 or the 18-track, or the 32-track systems that they have out there. And you set up all your parameters, every one of the channels. So on this one, you have 6 channels. You can do like your vocal, you kind of stay near the center, or maybe you move off to the right or left just a little bit, depending on how many other vocals you have in there. Then a guitar, you might put one guitar, like way over to the left side, put another guitar way over to the right. And anything that's really low frequency, like a bass guitar or a drum kit, you kind of center those because they're mainly mono.
Right.
And you can take that, and then you roll it over at the very end once you get everything, just like you do on a professional system, like they do in the studio. You roll everything over to a stereo track.
What program are you using to do all your audio and bring it together?
Well, in the Zoom, it's internal. You take
Okay.
everything, and yeah, you do everything, and then it's saved on an SD card inside. It has
cool.
it has a USB interface that will interface to your computer, and you just copy. You can either copy the raw data, or you can copy over, because it saves each one of the tracks inside there. So if you have a pro system like on your Mac or your Windows, you can actually take each one of those tracks and you can actually re-edit it on your professional system if you want to do that. Or you can take the one that's already mixed down. It's a full mix down on the...
What program are you using on your computer to edit is what I was getting at.
Well, I don't. Again, everything I do is normally on the Roland that I don't have here, the multi-track recorder, and it does the same exact thing that the Zoom does, but it does it more professionally with more effects, and it's a higher quality. I'm not sure if the bit rate's any that much better, because they all do really high bit rate, 196 and blah blah blah, whatever the bit rates are. But I use all the software on the Roland. I use the software on here. Now I have tried. There's a really high-end. Mac makes it. The Apple people make it. It's like ProLogic or something like that. I have tried that on here, but there's such a steep learning curve to some of their software. That's why I use to do all my vlogging. I use iMovie. I use the simple program iMovie. It's very simple. Everybody who's really into it, maybe like Greg. I don't know if Greg is still online. I saw Greg chimed in earlier.
He was in earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what stuff, because he has all that professional stuff down there. And he might.
Yeah, he's the resident nerd.
I use Filmora for my video.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, but with all the complexities of the neat stuff, the new extra stuff, that's all the complexity of having a learning curve that goes along with it, and you guys probably know when you're doing vlogging and stuff like, you spend so much time in post edit. You collect.
Well, see, that's why I switched over to Filmora, because the learning curve isn't horrible. It's actually pretty simple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
So I try to keep it as simple as possible. Although it's becoming more because when you want to add more features and become more professional, then you start have to adding more of the stuff, which is what Art was telling me about one of our broadcasts that we were doing. I think maybe it was the live streaming that we did the last time. Art said something about, maybe you need some lights. So I went out and I purchased 2 of the LED lights. Yeah, and it's real neat. It's a little bit more complex again, but it's got where you can change the temperature of the light from the bright sunlight to the very warm white light inside. And you can do everything using your iPhone or your computer or your iPad. You can do that in the background as a control panel to allow you to do that. I'm excited about that. I think that's coming in. It's Sunday here. I think it's coming in this week. I got a notification from Lazada.
Oh, cool.
So that's coming in. I ordered the new microphone. Because this is I don't know. You see this? This is kind of a crazy setup I have right here. So it's really not the most optimum setup, but it's working. At least you're telling me it's working. So.
It sounds good. It's very clear.
Yeah, you sound good. You don't have the lag like I'm having today.
So this is working, but I got the replacement. I got the replacement microphone coming in. I ordered a boom. They sell boom, boom arm, like you're using right there. Art. I ordered the boom, but the problem with ordering in the Philippines, you guys are so lucky being in places when you order something and it comes in 24 or 48 hours, or especially like if you do Amazon.com or something like that. I remember those days. Those were the good old days. But here, everything seems to come over on that slow boat from China.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like everything it says. I think pretty much everything today says 9 to 20 days, and you just that's just this that's just the speculation when they tell you that.
That would be
Uh,
like us ordering from Wish or Banggood or something.
Yeah, and also the things about ordering from Lazada is the market over here is so different from the market in the U.S. or North America, Canada, probably even Australia, New Zealand, is because when you order stuff from here, it's almost like they sell a lot of knockoffs, and they don't have availability to the high quality stuff. Or if they
Right.
do, they'll show it, but it'll always say no stock, or out of stock. It will always show that. Because what I wanted for it's kind of weird, the microphone that I ordered. I'm going to do, as a matter of fact, we'll be doing another live stream, and maybe I can have you show up on that live stream also. But I want to talk
Awesome.
with people about audio processing gear and things like that.
Okay.
So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself for that live stream. But the Samsung that I ordered, it's you just can't go out and buy the shock mount, like you have your shock mount right there. You just can't buy a standard shock mount for the Samsung microphone because of the orientation of their little knobs that they have on there for the volume and for the headphone
Right.
volume, the microphone volume. There's three things on the front. And what's cool on the back of the Samsung, the G-Track Pro, is it has a 1/4-inch jack for an instrument. So if you want to do something like what we do around here, we occasionally play around with music. And sometimes we do that on the channel. I can plug in like my classical guitar that has a pickup. I can plug that into the back. I have the microphone right in front of me. And then what we can do is maybe if I write a song, we can do it right there on the air on the live stream. It'd be kind of cool
Right.
doing stuff like that. Most other microphones don't normally have that instrument jack built into it. But what I was getting to, by buying that specific model, that Samsung model, there's only like one kind of a shock mount that you can get, and it's of course, it's Samsung themselves. They kind of captured their own market inside there. I did find one other shock mount company where they have adapters. There's like 5 adapters that fit so that when you mount it inside there, and one of them is made for the Samsung also. But I'm kind of stuck with that. And then what is that? What is that called? The little screen that goes on there. The the
Oh
one that goes
yeah.
on.
Green
The
screen?
spit. Yeah.
The spit. It's about spitting. Something to do with spitting. Pop.
Yeah.
Pop filter.
Pop.
The pop filter.
Pop
Oh,
guard.
yeah.
Pop filter.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have a pop filter that's made specifically for it, and it has a little wire ring that mounts around the microphone, right around the microphone. But I didn't like it. There's no flexibility to it. Like if you want to turn your microphone at a certain angle or this or that or anything like that orientation. Like the one I can't see if you have. I don't think you have one on yours, do you? But it's normally a flex gooseneck mount that's on there. And you can adjust
Yeah,
it.
I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking for something like that, but that's easy to find. I'll be able to find that. So I've got the lights coming in. I've got the microphone coming in. I've got the boom arm, but the boom arm, the high quality one, I can't find. It's always out of stock. I can't find it anywhere in the Philippines.
Huh.
So I'm actually ordering it from Amazon. Canada, Amazon.com.Canada.
Ah.
And I have a friend that's in Canada that's going to be moving. I told you about my Canadian friend that's bought the lot right next door to us over here. And he's sending over Balak buying boxes, and he's going to slide that into one of his Balak buying shipments. So I'll have that.
Right.
But until that comes, the Samsung G-Track comes with a mount, just like my Yeti on the desktop mount. It just sits in that. So I'll use that
Right.
for the time being. I also noticed, I looked for your microphone. I've seen so many microphones like the one you have that have a gold top and a black base, but no gold on the bottom side. So I don't know what model it is. What's that model that you're using?
Oh, I have no idea. Well, let's see if I.
By the way,
Yeah.
while you're looking, Art, I want to say thank you to Tony for giving me the shout out on there for helping him out with his videos and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that a while back. I was going to say something. I didn't want to interrupt.
Tony actually lives right down the street from me, and we work together. We
Oh,
both
okay.
work in the hospital, so I know Tony quite well.
James, it's a BM80.
A BM80. Oh, I saw one that looked just like it was called the BM800. 800 is the one I saw.
Yep.
But it didn't seem
Well-
as long. It didn't seem as long as that one that you have on your mount there.
By the way, James, your camera's doing something weird.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, it is.
And
Okay.
you're lagging a little bit too.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if I should turn it off and then turn it back on again. Oh, this is the problem. Okay.
Are you
Now, are you
overheating
using a
again?
web camera or are you using a actual camera?
I'm using the GoPro.
Okay.
And the GoPro only on the 8 you can do this, and it's a beta. It's a beta software. It's
Now-
not. I don't think it's ready for prime time.
Question for you: is that hardwired into your computer or over wireless?
It's hardwired USB-C to USB-A.
Because that's what I'm using a DSLR Canon SL2 with a beta program to turn it into a webcam.
Yeah. I'll also tell you right now, my CPU temp is 65C, which my computer normally crashes about here at this. I heard Art say that that I was in the process of upgrading stuff, and I've already ordered a replacement computer. So I'm hoping the newer, because this is only a dual core, and and it's even though it's a Core i7, it's a
Right.
mid 2012 model, and it's way outdated. So I've ordered a replacement, but it's also on the slow boat from China, so maybe we'll see.
Hey,
it.
James, have you
Yeah.
thought about getting a cooling fan for your laptop?
Well, as a matter of fact, you know what? It's sitting on a cooling fan right now, but it would help if it were plugged in, and I can't plug it in because if I do, I'll unplug. It has a USB pass-through. It goes to the computer, and if I unplug, well, let's see. Let's try it. You're going to lose my microphone for a second. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
See, I'm using an i5 dual core, and I'm not having any problems.
Well, he's going to use such an older one, and I'll tell you what, anytime that you've got to me, without a doubt, you got a laptop, get one of the base cooling fans for it.
See, I'm feeling my laptop right now, and I'm not hot at all.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Somebody's
Yeah,
humming.
I think
It
that's
might be
it.
me. My PC is an AMD. It's an AM3 motherboard, so I've got like the almost to the top of the line CPU on it. And I
Like I
have.
said, mine's
I
an older
think
i5.
I might
but
have.
half the problems he's having.
When I unplug, I'm on my computer.
No audio, James.
No audio.
Yeah.
No audio, James.
How many other programs do you have running, James? That might be part of your problem too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and then come back. I don't know if you heard that.
We can't hear you, James, if you hear us.
Can't hear you, James.
Can't hear you, and you're all frozen too.
Oh,
I think he said I think I heard him say he was coming out and coming back in.
yeah. Yeah, you sounded really faint.
Yeah, it sounded like it just wasn't picking up the audio or something.
I'm
Right.
wondering if it was going through the same feed of the USB going through with the microphone.
That could be it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because if you unplug something and then plug it into a different port, it may not be automatically picking up that port either.
Yeah, that's. Mm-hmm. And you know that's the Philippines. They're actually the Philippines has better internet than Australia has.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
because
know
they
I'm right
have
on the
they have
end of here.
No,
they
El Smash
have
Head, I wish.
I'm
That'll be coming up a little bit later.
I'm right on the end of where they stop running internet. So we're basically the end of the line almost here. And I still get pretty decent signal. The only problem is when it rains, I get water in the connector out on the pole and it'll drop down my upload speed.
right.
So
Why
they were
don't they
supposed to be
seal
coming
the
out.
connectors?
They were supposed to be coming out and redoing the connectors, but Vive hasn't come out yet. So
Well, I'm going to wait to see. I was just negotiating online before I came on Arch Stream. That's why I was a little late coming in with good old Cox Communication. You want to talk about a ripoff?
oh, I bet.
I pay for here in California. I'm paying $74.95 for 150 down and 10 up. The next
Wow.
plan is called the Ultra. It's 500 down and still only 10 up. So you're not gaining anything on the upload speed.
Wow.
They used to have a plan called the 330, which I wanted to get, but they go, no, we don't have that anymore. It's only grandfather. So now they force you to go to the gigabit. But you know what the gigabit is? 40
Right.
up.
I was going to say it's probably a couple $100 though.
No, it's only going to actually be by the time I negotiated with them and started doing my, I'm going to go on to another plan.
There we go. He's back.
Okay, let me tell you what I did. Well, when I unplugged the microphone to plug in the little fan cooler, I didn't realize that the H6 I don't have batteries inside it, and it's being powered by USB, so it reset, turned that off. So,
Okay.
that's why. I'm glad I was able to troubleshoot this, but so that was pretty easy. But what I did was I switched over. So this is the internal camera. What do they call it? The FaceTime camera on the Mac. So we'll use it right now because I know it's stable. It's not nearly as clear. Not the contrast isn't nearly as good. And everything.
You look good.
It's still nice and clear.
Yeah.
I think I'll survive the little bit of our chat we have going on here, and I'll continue to work on to try to get this improved. I think a big difference will be is when the replacement computer comes in, because this one struggles. I will tell you, even though this is I'll give you the specs on this one right here. It's old. It's very old. I bought this back around Christmas. This was my Christmas present to myself back in 2012. And it's a 13-inch MacBook Air. It's got a 2 gig dual core i7, and it's got 8 gig of memory, and it's got a fairly decent graphics card. It's got a
I think that could be part of your problem. The 8 gig of memory.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So the new system that's coming in, it's still it's a Core i7, but it's a quad core now. So I'm moving up to a quad core. I'm going from 8 gig of memory because I like to know, and I did have a lot of stuff open, so you were right about that.
I'm looking at mine right now, and I'm running. Let's see, this is a 2 gigahertz and 260 gigahertz dual core i5, and I'm running 16 gigs of RAM on here.
Yeah,
And
so you're double up on the RAM. Yeah, you're double on the RAM on. So I'm upping my RAM on the new one, and of course it has the latest and greatest graphics card that comes out. Unfortunately, I would have liked to have gotten the AMD graphics card in there over the Intel. I like AMD. I prefer AMD over the Intel. I'm not a gamer, but I know the performance is really, really good on that.
Yeah.
It's also nice to have a good graphics card for video editing too.
But one of my limitations was 4K. You guys are the drone guys, and I've been wanting to do. I only have one video that I did on 4K, and I said never again, because I actually had to load up. What is it? You can't do it. iMovie won't do. iMovie won't do 4K. It'll only do HD, the 1080. So what I did was I installed Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro will do 4K with no problem, but Final Cut Pro demands a lot of resources. And
Yeah, it does.
I tried doing one video with 4K on there. It took me hours. The rendering took hours and hours, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. So the new computer should take care of that. So you'll be seeing hopefully some very nice, super ultra high definition drone.
And see,
from.
That's the other reason I went with Filmora, James, is because it doesn't require a lot on the computer, and I can export in 4K, and I can, like, a 30-minute video will take me maybe about 30 minutes to render in 4K.
Filmora, is that available across platforms? Is that Mac
Yep.
and PC?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I might have to take a look at that.
I think it's like $60 for the lifetime software buy, and then I pay like the extra $25 a month for the After Effects, which gives me all the little extra stuff like I do for my intro and my like and subscribe buttons and all that stuff that I can add in on my videos. So, it gives me all the little extra stuff I can add in. I can do green screen with it, a whole bunch of stuff. So, I mean, honestly, for what I'm paying, it's personally one of the best video editing. And like I said, the learning curve on it isn't really there. It's pretty much you drop and you drag, and you can cut and paste, and makes life so much easier.
Oh, I just realized I can look at. I didn't realize I could look at chats on here from last time I hosted when Art came on my chat on my live stream. I hosted, so I saw all the comments. So, but by default, it goes into a private chat, and I'm like, why don't I see anybody talking on the side over here? But you have to press when you're a guest. I guess you have to press the comments.
Right.
But you can't reply. There's no reply.
No, you got to open up YouTube for that.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Well, I'm not gonna open up YouTube because it means I have to open up another browser, and I'm already. Well, I went down from 64 or 65C, and now I'm down to 60. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to play it safe from here on out.
Yeah, but Art, what I did do is with the negotiations with them after being online, they dropped me after being online and hold for 27 minutes. Then I called back, and then another agent held on with me for another 20 minutes. She held on loan until I could get over to what they call their customer loyalty group. And so my bills that I'm paying now, because we have a package with telephone and TV and everything, to go to the gigabit is only going to go up $7 a month.
That's not bad.
I negotiated for gigabit, but the part that is still is nothing that I'm gonna write their corporate headquarters, because that's utter BS to only be able to have 40. That's the other thing. One person says it's 35, the other person says it's 40 megabit upload speed, which is BS for that when there's all over the United States because they're saying, oh no, you got to go to a business account in order to get higher speeds. I says, no, you don't have to go to a business account. I says, that's Cox throttling back the bandwidth. That's all it is. That's you guys doing it, no one else. And I said, please don't take it wrong. I'm not getting mad at you. I'm just getting mad at Cox Internet ripping off the public like they are, which is utter BS.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see what exactly my plan is.
So I'll find out. They're shipping the new modem telephone, what they call an MTU unit, because it's a new Dyset 3 modem with the telephone interface on it. So I'm going to swap that off. I'll get it on Tuesday. So I'll be able to swap it over and call them up and activate it, and we'll see what happens.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, James, by the way, our Mindoro Journey was here earlier. They wanted
Yeah,
to say
I
hi.
saw. I saw that. I saw that. I saw them chime inside there, but I think I was trying to. After I finally able to review some of the comments inside there, so good. It's good to see some of the folks that kind of follow our channel pop inside here now and then. I think that was good when we did the live stream the last time. I think some of the folks are following over who are interested in drones coming over to see you over here, and that's good. I'm glad we
Well,
were able to do
you
that.
missed it earlier. We were talking, or I was talking about the controller for the Mavic Air 2 and the Autel Evo controller. I've got both of these. Nice thing about this, it's got a monitor on it. But the only problem is you don't have all the features that if you have a phone, you get access all the features like waypoints and tracking and all that neat stuff.
But do you still have to use like your phone, like your
Well,
phone
you
for the
can put a
monitor?
phone on. I mean, that
Okay.
gives you all the functions, but you can fly it without a phone
Oh, so it
because
has.
you'll see what the camera sees on this the monitor. It's almost
So
like what
DJI
smart
does.
control.
Yeah, well, that's what I like so much about the Phantom 4 Pro Plus that I have, is
Yeah.
it has and that monitor, even in the brightest of daylight outside, you can get a pretty clear, and it doesn't wash out, and it works
Right.
really well. I really like that.
This is OcuSync 2 on here.
Oh, okay.
So down the road, they're going to have a smart controller for the Mavic Air 2. So, and that'll be real nice because that gives you a nice, I mean, it's kind of like what you have with the built in screen right there. So
Yeah, I
you
like
won't
that.
need a phone or a tablet.
I got to back out for a minute here. I'll be back in.
All right. We'll see you in a bit, Steve. Oh, by the way, Steve's also Air Force, and so is Mike. Mike.
Yep.
Oh, thank you for your
So
service, guys.
James is Air Force as well. So we're Air Force. Go Falcons.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
What'd you
I-
What'd you do in the Air Force, James?
I was satellite communications.
Okay, I was
I did-
sector.
Yeah, I did a couple things. I started out, I was NDI, NDT, inspected aircraft, and then I cross-trained over into something a little more technical. That's why I went into communications.
Okay.
And were probably the best, one of the best decisions in my Air Force career, moving over into comms. It really expanded my
I
horizons.
did SecFo. You know the Ravens.
Okay, yeah.
I was a Raven.
Oh, you were talking earlier, Art. You were talking about, what was it? About batteries. I missed. I was in the middle of either making waffles or transporting waffles to the back porch or something like that. But you were talking about replacement batteries, because I already had to replace one. I had to replace one battery, and I noticed the replacement battery, and it wasn't the original DJI, but it got good reviews. But I also noticed that my replacement battery, I don't get quite as long of life for the replacement battery
Right.
as I did from the OEM. But the OEM, here, hold on a second. I'll see if it's sitting over here on the workbench. I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if you can see swelling from the, but can you see the swelling over here? I don't know if you can
Yeah, I
see
can
that.
see a little swelling on that side
Yeah.
there. Yep.
What drone are you
well-
using?
I got the DJI Phantom 4 Pro Plus. The Plus has the external monitor that it comes with. But yeah, this plastic, the cover inside here.
Yep.
It's all. Well, you can
Yeah.
see the
Oh,
Pro
yeah.
cover.
We can see it.
It's
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I
all
can see it
swollen.
now.
You can't even slide it into the chamber.
Yep.
The holding chamber inside the drone anymore. it's swollen up so bad. So this one, it's totally useless. So I bought a replacement, and it but it wasn't OEM. And I looked at all the reviews on Amazon, and this got one of the highest reviews, and they're not cheap. Even the replacement, they're not cheap. And
How old are the batteries, James?
oh, when did we started doing? We bought the drone at the beginning of the build of Villa Feliz here. So I started building end of February. So I probably brought the drone in probably around June-ish time, maybe earlier.
Well, I'm saying, how old was that? Was that a brand new battery, or
This was a brand new battery that came with it, so it lasted less than 3 years. Less than 3 years before it started
Okay.
swelling like this.
okay?
So I don't know what the life expectancies on these things are,
Now,
but
question: do you leave them fully charged, or do you drain them
Well-
and store them?
yeah, I know where you're going. I know where you're going, and I'm probably my own worst enemy when it comes to what happened here. I did keep them fully charged. I didn't do 50%, leave them at the 50% like you're supposed to do. And I always left the chart because I always wanted, at the moment's notice, if I needed to get out and get into the air, I wanted to be ready. Yeah, that was a mistake doing that, and I'm sure that's what caused the swelling by keeping that up. Oh,
Two things.
and recharging while it's still hot. That's probably the worst thing you can ever do to these
Ooh,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to do that because
Make sure you
Yeah,
store them in a cooler place too.
yeah. So that what, like I said, I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to this battery, and I need to get another replacement. I need to get another replacement. So if you have a recommendation that you know is a really good, let me know, because the one I got now, that's a replacement. It doesn't. I probably lose maybe where I can fly about 30 minutes. When this was new, I had about 30 minutes of flight time.
Right.
I probably get between 20 and 25 minutes on the replacement battery.
See, I have the Mavic Pro, so these are what my batteries look like,
Yeah.
and I always leave them at about 30-40% charge. Make sure they're in a cool place all the time. Make sure I don't leave them in the vehicle so they get hot, because them lipo batteries, man, they're finicky like that.
Yeah.
Like, I got one. I bought this little cheap drone just to play with, and it had the lipo batteries. And when it came to me, because it had been on a boat coming from overseas, and I bought it off of Wish, the battery had already exploded from getting too hot, I'm guessing.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. Well, it's
Wow.
good. I've heard bad stories about that. That's why they're so precautious. They're cautious about allowing them or not allowing them, or putting them in certain places, like on airplanes, jets,
Yep.
when they're flying, stuff like
Yeah.
that, because of that. So
And
Yeah,
I mean,
when
I've had lipo batteries swell on my laptop too from overheating.
yeah, same here. Even this Mac that we're on right now, I've replaced the battery in here. It was swelling. Of course, I do the same thing. Like right now, I keep it plugged in all the time. And
And actually, that's not good for it either.
yeah, I shouldn't do that, but I keep it plugged in all the time because it's it's probably 12 hours a day that I actually have use on the laptop, between the vlogging stuff and correspondence and research and ordering and things like that. I'm on it all day long. But yeah, I know I've weakened the battery on that one. This is also a replacement battery that's inside here now. I think I might have done a video on that one. I've done it also on the iPhone. I did a
Right.
video. I heard you guys talking about earlier about doing the replacement battery on the iPhone. I actually have a video that I did here in the basement, and that's kind of like doing surgery.
Oh yeah, I had to replace my stepdaughter's screen and LCD on her iPad. That was a nightmare.
You wonder who are these guys that design these things? You know, when they first come out, and how do they figure that all of the stuff is going to work? The tolerances and they work. They do. They work really good.
The hardest part was getting all the daggone glue off the screen, because that glue, just, oh my god, just does not want to come off.
And I've never seen. I don't even know how you could ever possibly manufacture those screws, the little tiny screws that they have that go inside there. How can you possibly? What kind of machining tool can you possibly have to make something that tiny? You know,
they might actually even cast those.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I don't know, but they're a pain in the neck. And especially, I make sure I have something sitting there when I'm ripping apart a laptop or something, just because to put every single screw in there. Because if not, you're going to lose one of them at least.
You are. Yep. And I can't tell you, even on, I don't know if it was this laptop. No, it wasn't on this laptop. It was a different laptop that I had. And it was a battery replacement, very similar to this Mac right here, the MacBook Air. And I got everything put back together, every single thing. And then I had one screw left that I knew I had to put this one screw in, but it was one of these screws that was just less than 1 millimeter longer than the other kind of screws. And when you screwed it in, it put an indentation in the top where the trackpad was inside there. Because I put the wrong screw. Where a long screw was supposed to go in, I put a short screw.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I said, I'm going to live with it because I'm not opening that whole thing up and going all the way back inside there again and doing it again.
See, I do computer repair and, I do a lot of electronic repair on my own. And I know exactly what you're talking about. You get one little screw that's just slightly longer than the rest of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what's so good about doing DIY videos, which I do a lot of DIY videos for repairs, whether it be refrigerators or air conditioner units or computers. But the great thing about doing a DIY video, teaching somebody how to do something, as you're recording it, when you get to the end and you're like, oh, I can't remember what it was, you just rewind your video and you go back and you have the evidence of how you did it. And that works really good. But I do the same thing that you do, Mike. I usually set out like a black rubber pad next to it, and I lay out every screw in the order that I take it out. And usually, you might, like for the bottom case, you might have 8 screws. I put all those 8 screws in that one little pile.
Yeah.
And as I go to the next step, so when I go in reverse, I know that those are the screws that are going to have to go back inside there.
Yeah. See, I do a lot of DIY like Filmora videos. So I have camera sitting facing me, and then I'm trying to screen record at the same time. So I get the whole, it can be intensive trying to get it all together.
Oh, Art, I just wanted to get back. You told me you have you said the BM80, or it might be the BM, maybe it is the BM80 because it's a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's what it says on here.
Yeah, it's a little, because it looks a little longer than the BM800 that they sell over here. But I do know that the BM800 they sell over here comes with a small audio processing box that does effects like echo and reverb.
Oh, cool.
Dog barking and stuff like that. Did your system come with that box when you bought it? Did it come as a
No,
package?
it's an XLR plug on the end. I have a Tascam mixer that I've got this plugged through, and that's USB into my PC, and it's got 3 PON buttons on there that are preset. You could change them around with the software, and it's got volume and reverb, and you could do volume on your headphones, volume on your mic. You could use the microphone that's on the mixer, or you could do both, or just have one or the other. And it's got an effects button where I could do
my female voice.
And I could change that through the software where I could do the really low voice, or I could do like the guy in the helicopter, and it sounds like this. You know, like Les Nessman, Aircopter One. And so,
Now, can you add your own effects into there, Art?
kind of what?
Can you add your own effects into there if, like, you
Yeah,
downloaded
I
a?
can. Yeah,
Okay.
what I do is I download the sound effects, and I could put them into the PON on here and set them up that way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So if I understand it, you're using a regular XLR mic. The XLR goes inside
yeah,
your
that's what this
mixer,
is.
your mixer, and then you have a USB out of your mixer that goes into your computer.
That's
That's the way
right.
you're doing it. So
Mhm.
that's pretty much what the Zoom does here. Because you see, the Zoom has all these XLR. You can either the
Right.
nice thing about these. I think these are Nutric connectors, and the Nutric connectors will accept either a 1/4 inch jack from an instrument, or you can do the XLR inside there as well. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing.
There's my mixer right there.
Okay.
Oh, your Tascam?
Yep.
Oh, that looks ultra modern. That doesn't look like the old Tascams that I remember way back in the day.
Yeah, the box.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Art,
cool.
I got a news update here. The reason I had to back out is our good friend Rick Helber asked me to call him. He's in the hospital.
Oh no.
Not his heart, thank God. The medication they've had him on has made him kind of like dizzy, and he fell and ended up fracturing his left arm,
Oh
his elbow,
no.
his elbow. So he
Oh
is in the
no.
hospital probably for a couple more days. He went in this yesterday morning. He went in,
Right.
so he'll be in there for a couple of more days, and then they'll be releasing him back out. But he'll be in a cast.
Oh boy.
The temporary cast they have him on for right now for about 2 weeks, and then they'll be putting him into a regular full cast for probably
boy.
about the rest of the 6 weeks duration. But I guess the medication they had him on, not his blood pressure medication, but another one, which probably has to do with having to do with it. He's been getting lightheaded, and his blood pressure's just been dropping. So
Wow.
it's kind of maybe a prayer in disguise for a broken arm to get him in there to get this stuff regulated, because obviously they didn't have him regulated properly, and that's more important.
Right.
What'd you
Wow.
say?
He said to say hello to everybody and asked me if I'd pass it along. So if anybody else is on any other live streams, please let him know. And
All right, we'll do. We'll
he
do.
sends his best to everybody.
What do you break?
His elbow.
Oh, that's a bad spot to break.
Yep, right there. But they said it was clean.
Well, that's good then.
Yep.
Rather a clean break than a jagged one.
Or a shatter.
Or a shatter.
especially being in this location, because they said it was right on the tip.
Oh,
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
And he goes, my elbow's hurting me. I go, well, number one, you broke a bone. And number two, there are so many nerve endings here.
Yeah.
funny bone, all them nerve. Oh yeah, there's a ton
Yeah.
of nerve.
Oh boy. Yep. I've done that. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna have to shut this bad boy down. Oh, now I've got people coming in. All right, we'll do a few more minutes. We got some latecomers. We got Herman from Phantom Flight 101 and Bill of Metro Drones. Welcome to the show. And then we have Robert Glazer. I haven't had a chance to say hello. And Mars FPV Drones. He's from Australia. So Bill just said he just got home. Bill lives in Michigan. He lives in White Lake, Michigan, which is not far from where I used to live when I used to live in Michigan. So
He's up there near Claude and everybody else up there.
yep. Oh, Steve,
Yes.
James is also Air Force.
Oh,
So
okay.
we got the whole Air Force crowd here tonight.
Well, our flight group we used to fly not too far from where you're at during the old days. Clark
the
Air
old
Force
days.
Base,
Yeah. What were you flight air crew?
medical aerovac. We were
On what aircraft?
we'd fly on C-141, C-5As.
Yeah, I was air crew on 141s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, our home base here was Norton Air Force Base here in San Bernardino, and we'd usually fly from here. If we needed to, we'd fly to Travis, up in the Bay Area, and then from there to Hawaii, from Hawaii on to into Clark.
Been
You
there,
know,
done that.
guys, hearing you talk about the planes cracks me up because literally that's the number one question I get. Well, what planes you fly?
Well,
I was like, look, guys, I'm SecFo. We don't fly planes. We shoot guns.
yeah.
Well,
Actually, I was in.
It was. I got the chance to fly around a lot because I taught survival medicine to a group within my team. There was a group of us that would go around to teach survival medicine to other bases. So I got a chance to, when we got after our flight training, I got a chance and met up with a gentleman that was doing a lot of testing on tactical aircraft. And I got a chance to hop in the back seat of a lot of different types of tactical aircraft. I'd find out where he was flying, he would sit there and say, "Steve, if you ever want to go, just let me know. Let me know. Give me your itinerary, where you got to be and when you got to be." So I had a chance to fly in some back in the days of the F4s and the F-15s, and then the one that I really enjoyed was the F4 because the instrumentation they were putting them on all the aircraft for the Navy and for the Air Force at the same time.
Lloyd says he was in the 462 back in the 60s.
I know.
70s.
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, I flew into the bases he was in, and it was ironic and just a shame we didn't know each other back then.
That's the cool thing with SecFo. I actually got to do a couple incentive rides, and I got to do an incentive ride in a F-16 two-seater, and I got to do the incentive ride in a KC-135 Strato tanker. And I tell you what, laying on that little platform, watching the boom, man, you got to have some real nerve to do that. Because, I mean, that's straight glass underneath you.
As they say, some real balls of steel.
Yeah. When I took the incentive ride in the F-16, the ground crew was actually betting on whether I'd puke or not.
Oh, it is. It's everybody I've talked to. I didn't get a chance to, but everybody I talked to, they said if you are prone to motion sickness at all, you will get sick.
You will.
It's worse than being on the high seas and rough seas.
See, I was jump certified, so I really didn't get air sickness or anything like that. And they handed me the little bag, and they were like, "Yep, bet you're gonna use this." And I'm like, "Nope, no, I'm not."
Well, my dad was
the bag, and I said, "Yep, I'm good."
When my dad was stationed at Clark, they were flying B-29s out of there in 1945.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That was a few years before me.
The two coolest planes to watch take off are the B-52s and the B-2 stealth bombers.
Yeah.
Watching them B-2 stealth bombers, you're like, is it going to take off? Yeah. Is it going to get off the ground? And all of a sudden, it's just like they hit afterburner, and that thing launches off, and it's gone.
Yeah, that's like the B-52s, because the base that I worked at, March Airfield, that was a Strategic Air Command, a SAC base. And when I was in there, it was right at the end of the Vietnam War as it was starting to wind down. And we had 5 of them there, and 2 of them were in the air at all times out of the 5. And I'll tell you, you sitting there watching that thing, it's like you start to go like this with your hands going, come on, get off the ground. And then they'd hit that JATO assist, and man, that thing would just go, like you're saying, but it was
Yep.
so big because the flex on that thing was,
15,
I'm trying to remember, it was either 17 or 21 feet of flex at
17.
the tip of the wings.
17.
It flexes in flight. And I'm
Yeah.
going, you watch it when it's taken off, and being that close to it, it's just like, holy crap, is that thing ever going to get off the ground?
The end of the runway, clearing the runway for them to do the takeoff. And
Yeah.
if they don't have those little outriggers down, then wings will drag the ground.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I don't know, Steve or James, if y'all remember in, I want to say it was 2003 or 4 when they did the huge bombing campaign in Iraq over Christmas.
Mhm.
They dropped like 105 JDAMs. I was actually there for that. And I was guarding the planes that were taking off to do that bombing run. And
Wow.
watching them things take off one after the other, it was just like amazing. They had probably 20 or 30 of them sitting on the runway. They were from the base in Louisiana. I'm trying to think of the name of the base there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of it right off, but they were all from there in Louisiana and watching. I mean, literally that morning, 20 or 30 of them took off, one right after the other. And that was one of the coolest things I've ever got to watch.
Barksdale? Wasn't Barksdale?
Yes, Barksdale. That's it.
Yeah, Barksdale.
Now, my dad worked at Boeing back in the 50s when the B-52s were just getting started.
Okay.
Wow.
The cool thing about
47s were winding down, and yep.
The cool thing about the B-52 is every time they have to upgrade a piece of machinery on it, that machinery has to weigh exactly the same amount. And sometimes they even leave the old cables in the airplane to keep the same weight ratio. Otherwise, that thing won't get off the ground.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it was ironic. Well, when we were there, because we did the medical roll call for the flight crews, because when we were there at that time, that's when they had the nukes were on board during that conflict. We had to go in there, and they had a whole section of the base locked down 120 days. The flight crew was in there. They slept over in that area. So we'd go in there for the medical roll call. Well, we got a chance to actually go up inside the cockpit to actually see what was up in there. And I'll tell you what, because of our security clearance, even though we shouldn't have been in there, but we got in there to see it. And it was just like, my Lord, after it was all said and done, and here we have the base has since shut down. It was a Marine Corps Air Station here at El Toro. I know James, who's in here, he's familiar with it, and a few others. When we walked up to the jet for an air show they had there, the whole flight crew combined, their ages, they were younger combined than how old the aircraft was.
Probably so.
Yep.
And I can definitely agree with what you said, because I've been in the cockpit of a B-52 and a B-2, and I'll tell you what, the cockpit of the B-2 is insane.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you talk about utilizing every single centimeter of space, they even have an area that flips down and turns into a cot for some of the crew because of how long the B-2 flights are.
Right.
And good Lord, having the security clearance to be up in there was, top level security clearance. You have to have at least a top secret to be in there.
Yeah.
And even then, you have to be with somebody else with another top secret clearance at all times. When we were guarding the hangars, we'd be inside the clamshell with the B-2, and there was always two of us patrolling around the plane. And, if somebody had to step out for a second, you either had to have somebody else with a clearance come in, or both of y'all had to exit for a few minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I
They don't
remember.
play
I
around
remember that, because the funny thing about it was, which I didn't even know, is my dad did a lot of work for a company called TRW Systems here in California, and out here they tested In fact, the lunar rover was originally tested out here. All the rockets for the lunar landing modules were all tested out here. My dad did a lot of work out there. And little did I know, I was just a shop boy going in and out, in and out, in and out, that I didn't have it. I wasn't issued it, but they had done, because of everything that we were working in and all the buildings, that they wouldn't tell you. You just go in there, and then you'd cover everything up, and you had to leave. And then the people from TRW would come in and do their work. They'd cover it up, and then you'd come in and you would hook stuff up that had to be hooked up, and you couldn't see what was ever in there. And little did we know, they had gone through as high as top secret clearance. So when I went in the service at the time, because I went in just after 1972, graduating in 71, and I came back to my home base, and he goes, my captain says, you bring a tie and a jacket and everything, because you got to get your passport photos taken, and then you're going over for your clearance, because you just got to get your clearance started. So I go on down, and I'm gone for the afternoon. I come back, and he goes, it'll probably take you about 6 weeks, and you get your secret, and they'll start on your top secret. And meanwhile, the captain who was there only had his secret clearance. So I go out, I come back. I had a secret clearance coming back from the office. They had shot the photos, issued me my card on the spot. He goes, well, where the hell did you get that from? I said, I don't know. He sent me down there. And then I played dumb, but which I did find out. That's how I found out, was all this background check had already been done. And he goes, come back in 2 weeks. We'll give you notification, and we should have you cleared for your top secret within 2 weeks. I had my top secret before my commanding officer ever got his. He waited another 2 months before he got his. He couldn't even go in sections of the flight line. And it was, as we call us, the grunts, the enlisted men that are out there running around with more clearance than our commanding officer was.
And I tell you what, when it comes to that top secret clearance, they don't joke around. They went, and I was 18, fresh out of high school. They went back and they talked to my neighbors. They talked to my school teachers, all that stuff. I had former school teachers and stuff. They saw my dad in town, and they're like, there's some guys in suits coming around. They're asking a lot of questions about Mike and all this stuff. And I was like, well, it's part of the clearance process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, guys, I think I'm going to shut this bad boy down. James, you got something before we go?
I do have one thing, and I meant to introduce it earlier, and it's a question for you guys, and it has to do with your camera that's on your drone. I've been having some problems. I didn't notice this when the first couple of years of my DJI drone experience, but over the past year, I'm having a problem with the camera with when you're in a very bright situation, or if you have reflections, and I don't use any filters. There's no filters on the camera screwed on. I start getting these, looks like lines across there. Can I share? You could probably
sure, go ahead. Yeah, just go down.
Let me share this.
Your screen.
Yeah, when you were in my live streaming last week, I was going to introduce this. Okay, tell me can you see this?
Yes. Okay, I'll bring that up.
Okay, this was from the backyard, but I want you to, and I'll try to point it out, the anomaly that I'm talking about here in just a moment.
What aircraft is this? Oh,
this the DJI.
What aircraft is this on?
Phantom 4.
Okay.
Phantom 4 Plus.
Yeah, the Pro Plus, yeah. I don't know, I might have edited it out. But
I saw white lines going across there just a second ago.
Oh, there it is. You see?
Okay.
You see on the little pillars on the top of each one of the fence lines, you see the black lines? Everywhere where you see white. Okay. I'll try to go back to if it doesn't catch up to it. Let's see. Maybe you'll see it in another spot. But I'm getting everywhere where there's like a white. It's almost acts like a green screen. In certain areas where there's reflection on white, and I just get these
saw
black.
it right there on that
Yeah,
Wing
right
van.
on my PWS. On my PWS, you just saw it there. There, I see on the top of the pillar.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You see to the left where there's when something is very, very. Oh, even on the wall there. You see on the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do
You
you
can even
think,
see.
Steve? Do you think that's from overexposure?
Do you know what what your settings were offhand, James?
It might be
There-
white balance.
Yes, you see right there. Also right there on the front of the house. You see everywhere there's white. It's my settings are default. I've never changed the settings. I've never had to mess with the settings before. Out of the box, they've been
So
perfect.
you're shooting all automatic.
All automatic. Everything's automatic. Yeah, no, there's no manual settings in there at all. No pro settings.
That could be picking up something from the white balance on it.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if maybe one of the sensors is dying out, one of the in the camera itself,
That
and it's
could
degrade,
be.
and it's degrading. Okay. Oh, there it goes.
What was the temperature and when you were shooting that one?
It was last week. It was last week. It was probably that was early in the morning, so it was probably around maybe 25, 26 C here. It was cool. It was a relatively cool morning.
Yeah, that'd be in the
But if
80s.
The only two things I could think of right off the top of my head, like somebody said down here, is your SD card reading fast enough? And you might need a ND filter.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What SD card are you using?
I'm using it's a V30. It's the same one, but maybe after 3 years of use, maybe it's degrading. But I'm using the recommended. I actually saw it. When you guys were talking about it the last time.
Samsung.
The card. Yeah, SanDisk. I think it's a SanDisk,
SanDisk, yes.
V30. And I don't use a big one. I usually use 64 gig. 64. I think it's 64 gig. And that's more than enough for the amount.
I don't know if
quantity.
there's focus in there or not.
Yeah, it looks just like that.
The golden red, yeah. Well, that's fast enough because that's as
Yeah,
fast as you're gonna get.
It's when I buy them, I make sure it has the fastest data rate pass speed that you can possibly
Right.
have. It's like 90, somewhere around 90 meg per second or something like that. So, but it almost looks like what Mart said there, maybe an ND filter.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I need to put that on. But the thing is, nothing has changed. It's the same camera, same card, same drone, same settings.
Could
but
it be the ribbon on there, Steve?
Could be. I mean, there's
Starting to wear out from just
movement. Have you checked? Yeah. Have you checked your connections to make sure that there's not any wear on the ribbon cable going down there?
But you see, it only happens on a white washout background. Only. at
Okay,
that
so
point right
leave
there. Everything else.
that.
Yeah.
could be a sensor inside the camera then.
Could be the
Yeah,
sensor.
I'm wondering if it's bad practice to point the camera into the sun. I'm wondering
yeah.
I'm wondering because you can't. It's unavoidable at points when you're flying. Sometimes you're coming up over a hill, and the sun just happens to be there. That can happen eventually. And I'm wondering.
That's where the ND filters come in, and then you can go to manual settings, and then you can get your aperture. You can get your aperture closed down a little bit instead of being closed down. Because if you look back at the settings, if you go back, I'm sure that the aperture in that is going to be
Full open.
closed way down because you're flying into the sun, and it's going to allow you to open up your aperture a little bit. And number one, you're going to have better control of your shutter speed, so your shutter speed is matching to your ISO.
Yeah. So maybe I think that's the least expensive thing for the first troubleshooting is to get a ND filter on there where I can try that out to see if it makes any difference
See,
at all. So
when I fly, it's really bright here in Georgia. I use most of the time. I use my 16, or my 8. I don't think I hardly ever use the 4. The only time I'll run with just the regular without is if I want a nice sun reflection on the water, or I want to pick up the solar flares or something like that coming off the water. But most of the time I'll run like a 8 or a 6. Most of the time it's a 16.
All
What
right, so
about you,
somebody
Steve?
asked.
I agree. Like for me, I do mainly sunset shots, so I'm shooting in where it's coming down on the horizon, but I can get some bright, clear images. I'm running an 8 on it for my sunset shots all the time. It's affixed on the drone. It's always on there for an 8.
And I'll use, because of, like I said, because of how bright and how sunny it is here. If I'm shooting at the beach or something, I'll go all the way up to a 16, and then
Yeah.
I'll shoot in manual so I can change um my ISO. I don't have an aperture on my Pro, so I'll change the ISO and the shutter speed and everything, and knock that way down low so I'm not getting that super washed out video.
Yeah,
Right.
I see recommendation ND filter and calibrate camera in the app. I haven't done any calibration on it. The only calibration I've ever done on it was when I crashed it into the coconut tree and I crashed it into another tree. And then it was like all the sensors. It knocked all the sensors out on there.
Yep.
And,
That
I
would
had
be
to
the
do.
first things I would try, honestly, is
Yeah.
to
Okay.
run the calibration on the camera again, and then
I've never run the calibration for the
Oh, then you should.
for the camera, only for the sensors, but I've never done it for. I didn't know there was a calibration inside there
Yeah.
for the camera.
there is
Okay, so I'll
you
take
can
a look
calibrate.
at that.
Well, I know on my Maverick Pro I can calibrate my camera, and that's with the computer program, right, Steve?
Yeah.
That's the main way to calibrate it. I don't know about the Phantom, but on mine, I got to hold it in front of my computer screen and it'll recalibrate everything. But like I
That
said, using
did-
the ND filters, that's cleaned up so much of my washed out footage, and just helps. And then the other thing is, most of the time I don't shoot in automatic; I shoot in manual anyway.
And Jim lives in Florida, and he does have a P4, so he's familiar with it. And so because he lives in bright sunny country like Georgia, so living in Florida where he does, because he's down by the Cape, and so he's always using filters.
But and maybe flying into the center of the volcano a month after it erupted, that probably didn't help it out either. Yeah.
Yeah, that could have
And
done it too.
Yeah, there was a lot of heat because it was like molten lava. And the lake was boiling inside, and I dropped it down really low to get a good shot inside there. So
Well, you could have
Fried up some
fried your sensors.
Yeah,
I could. That I'm sure that didn't help, but I tell you what, the video I got from that was well worth it. Even
It was awesome.
yeah, it's really, I consider it awe-inspiring. It was really good video.
is that the name of your channel, My PI Dream?
That's correct.
Yep. That's
Okay, I'm
the
gonna have to
name.
go check you out because I don't think I'm subscribed to you yet. So I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
check that out.
Well, if you want to check out what we're talking about right now, check out the Taal Lake or Taal Volcano. You could just type it in, My PI Dream Taal Volcano, and it'll be the one that was published in, because I've done several. The one that was published in February. That was 30 days. It was 30 days after the big eruption that we had in January.
Right.
Okay.
And,
I just subscribe to you and turn on notifications real quick so I can catch you because
There
I
you
didn't
go.
have you on there.
thank you.
No problem.
But yeah, I think the calibration and the ND filter is a good place to start. So those are good
Yeah.
tips.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
if you're still getting the lines in, then that's when I would start checking out the camera because you may have cooked something.
Yeah, well, I tried. I would love to send it back to DJI and have it do the tune-up, basically a refurbish, or because when I hit the coconut tree and I hit another tree once before, it kind of bent one of the quad arms, but it's more cosmetic than anything else. But I would really like it to have a full checkup and redone. But I contacted them, and I think they're out of Singapore or Taiwan or something over here. When I contacted them, I wasn't real happy that they're like, well, we don't know how you're going to send it to us, and we don't know how we're going to send it back to you because of customs and everything like that. They might try to charge you for the price of it. They didn't even. I didn't really get a good feel, so I decided not to go.
That's not a warm and fuzzy feel.
No,
Yeah,
that's not.
no. That sounds like a
decided-
whole other gym situation.
Yeah, so I decided not to go ahead. I said to go ahead and use it like it is right now, and I'm seriously considering, once I can save up a bunch of pesos over here, is maybe going with the newer models that have the different Wi-Fi connection
Right.
and the smaller drone.
And honestly, I'm still flying a Maverick Pro, the original, and I love that thing.
Same here.
Mhm.
I mean, that
Or you
thing's
can
got
get the Mavic Air 2.
Yeah, for portability for James. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I like
And
the
it's got the
Mavic.
zoom function on it now. So you like
Yep.
the Mavic 2 Zoom, you wanted to buy the Zoom or the Pro, you won't have the control of all your manual settings, but it doesn't seem like you're using them anyways. So the Mavic Air 2 would be the way to go, and because of small portability, flight time, and zoom functions.
And get the Fly More package where you get 3
Definitely.
batteries and it comes with filters too.
The Fly More pack. You got to realize where I'm at, Art. I just can't go on Amazon.com and say I want the Fly More package. Lazada's not going to probably have a Fly More. They might.
See,
never
when
know.
you originally order it, you can order it with the Fly More package.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can get it.
Yeah.
Or I do know that you can pick these. They have drone stores up in Manila. They have several of those up inside there. Although the pricing over here is quite expensive, I would rather pick one up when I'm back on vacation in the U.S. and just
There you
hand
go.
carry it back with me
Yeah.
back over here. Whenever that might be, who knows when that's going to be? That could be years from now. So who knows?
Which one was it that you got close? Because I'm seeing like 4 different ones. Update 2, 3, 4, 5.
It'll be in February. Let's see if I. Hold on, I can
This
go.
one was in January, so yeah, okay. February
So-
probably be update 4 or 5.
Let me open up my other browser over here.
Oh, okay. I almost crashed my drone near the
No,
volcano.
it was after that one, because the one where I almost dropped it in the lake is when I went to a place that was over 11 kilometers away from, and I tried to fly it from that side of the mainland over the lake inside, and I couldn't get it quite, and I had very little time coming back, and it went into an auto landing in the middle of the lake on that one. But that's an interesting video also.
Going inside Tall Volcano 30 days after.
That's it. That's the one. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't have to open that up.
Now here's the zoom on the Mavic Air 2 right now. That was shot here the other day. Where you're looking is 1.5 miles from where I'm at right now, and you'll see how close it's zooming in.
Are you on the 1080p or the
Yeah.
4?
'Cause in order to get 4
Yeah,
times
that'll
zoom.
be 4x. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's the 4x. So that's a mile and that's 1.1 miles from my house to where you're seeing that breakwater right there. That's the closest breakwater.
Which drone is that, Steve?
That's the Mavic Air 2
Okay.
with the new zoom function in the firmware update.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
And you'll see it back out. You can see that I've got better ones. I just pulled this one up here real quick so you can see how close it zooms in.
Right.
Now, is the zoom on that model? Is it an electronic zoom or is it a mechanical zoom?
It's a
It's
digital.
digital.
zoom.
It's
Yeah.
digital.
It's a digital.
Mhm.
And they'll back out here in just a second here. Let me move it up.
And and that's 1080p, and that's not much of a degrade on that. That looks
No,
pretty
no.
darn
No,
good.
and I didn't I didn't have my ND filter adjusted on it. It's a variable filter.
Okay, you got the one with the click stops, right?
No, a variable. It's
Okay.
I got the Freewell, the 2 filter set.
Okay.
Mm.
And you can
But-
just adjust it by turning it, right?
Yeah. but this is the one that I was laughing about with you guys, was saying, here's where I slewed over in order to be able to go shopping at Costco. You can see the big Costco sign there on that big white building there on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the gas station. And I'm gonna lift up here now, so I can check it out. So I can check to see how crowded it is before I have to go shopping.
That's awesome. That's like the Walmart across the street. I could technically do that or check out the Walmart from my house.
But that Zoom works really well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
So I'll stop sharing there, and that's Interstate 5 going northbound and starting to back up. But there you can see how far away going in and out on it.
Yeah. I'll show you real quick. This is the Mavic Pro. Let's see. This is some footage I shot the other day. And I mean, for being the Pro, that thing's super clear.
Yep.
And I was shooting in 4K. I was starting to lose signal here, so I was almost a mile away from where I was. So
wow.
Let's see. This is actually a property I'm trying to get permission to go shoot, because it's so far back in the woods, and you have to take their roads to get back there. So, but this thing is super clear. I kind of wonder how many gators are back in there.
Yeah.
Now that's the Pro.
This what?
That's the Mavic 2 Pro?
No, this is the original Mavic.
Oh,
Pro.
okay.
Yep.
So you see where you get the sheen off of the reflection off of the water there. With my camera right now, that would all be those lines.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm having now. I noticed that when we went to Palawan, and I got the reflection anywhere on the water just like that. I had to edit that out because it was terrible. It was beautiful.
You know what you use for that is you use a polarizing filter, James.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
And you can order a combo. You can get ND/polarizing filters that are combos. So it's an ND, say you're getting a set, like say an ND 8, ND 16, and you can get polarizing. Now the polarizing, you'll have to turn the ring to adjust how you want the reflect. So what you do is you put it up in the air or just put it on the ground real quick, and you'll do a test of where you want to see it. Because anytime you're shooting around water or anything that's giving you a reflection, or well, you're not going to get snow, obviously, but it takes away that, and it makes the sky a lot more vivid blue too.
And honestly, that was a polarized filter, but that was only like ND 4 or 6. So it was still kind of overpowering the filter. That's how bright it was that day.
Yeah.
I needed the 16 on there.
Wow.
But I was just trying to scope out that property and see what it looked like from the air before I researched out who owns the property. That took forever. So now I got to actually write the property owner permission to go back there on the surface streets back there and shoot with my still camera and shoot. What that place is supposed to be is it was supposed to be basically a community with their own gas stations and convenience stores, and it just never happened. So it's basically abandoned back there. That building was going to be the clubhouse for the development.
Right.
Yeah, I saw somebody put on there. They can't really see the difference between a good 1080p and a 4K. And they're actually up to 8. They're up to 8K now. Samsung has an 8K.
Yeah.
I know.
That's on the Autel Evo 2.
Yeah. But
they've got
honestly,
interchangeable cameras. They've got the 4K, and then they have the 6 and 8.
And honestly, they're talking about the difference between the 4K and the 1080. So if you go to my channel, the video I have, if you're not subscribed to me, the video that's like the main video that shows up first, if you look at that one, I've watched it on my 1080p monitor, and then I went out and I put it on my smart TV, which is a 4K. And there is a difference there. There is a huge difference there.
I think with drone technology, you can really appreciate the difference in the resolution, because when you're doing the high flyovers, you can see the details of the people and the elements that are way down low. I don't think there's so much of a difference between 1080, 4, and 8K when you're watching like a drama on TV. I mean, at 1080, I can see inside the pore of somebody's skin on their face.
Yeah.
How deep do you need to go between 1080 to 4K to 8K
Now,
to really do that? So I don't really think it's quite
when
as
I did
applicable.
if you look at my channel and you see the video, basically it's a flower patch that I found out in the middle of the woods somewhere that I dropped in and started flying over. If you look at it in 1080 and then look at it at the 4K, I mean, heck, if there was a bug on the leaf of that flower, you could have seen it. I mean, it's
that's what I'm saying. From distance with the cameras, with the drones and all, but not for like drama, like all these mini dramas that they do. And as a matter of fact, my opinion, I haven't seen 8K before, but I've watched a movie in 4K, and we have a 4K system upstairs, and down here in the basement we have the high definition, which is the 1080p. And I think when they film in the higher resolutions, movies, cinematography, not the drone shots inside there, I think sometimes it's too revealing, and it takes away from the softness that you expect, that you want inside a movie. I mean, I'm old school. I still like Casablanca in black and white, and I really like I like nostalgia. But I think sometimes the newer resolutions are too revealing for the type of movies that they're showing inside. It almost looks like somebody has a camcorder going around doing some of the video inside there. It's too fast. The resolution's too fast. The speed's too fast, and it takes away from the artistic meaning, the original meaning of a movie these days. My opinion.
It does make a difference. If you want to see somebody who's done some outstanding cinematic 4K, is Matt North of Northeast Drone Productions. Go check out his. I mean, it is I was stunned watching it on my 1080 screen. I went and watched it on my 4K. My mouth dropped.
Yeah. Anything like that.
That video he has with the fog coming off the lake, that one's just mind-blowing.
Well, I don't know if you all have, or all of you have, or some of you have. If you have Apple TV, I have the Apple TV. It's the latest model, the hardware device that I have for my 4K ultra high definition upstairs, and it has a screensaver built into it.
Oh yeah.
And the screensaver is done using drones. Every one of the shots in there are done using drones. They go over someplace in Dubai, they go over the desert, they go over the yachting area. And it's incredible. I can sit there just standing. I'll stand right in front of the TV and I will watch. You can see the detail of the construction of these buildings that are going on. You can see the tools laying down from however many feet that they are up in the sky. But that's where you can really appreciate the ultra high definition. And the drone is flying very smoothly. And there's a real big appreciation value in the 4K, and I can imagine with 8K, but there's very little 8K content out there right now, very little 8K hardware out there. Can you imagine trying to render an 8K on the hardware that we have here right now?
You better have a computer.
Well, guys, we're 3 hours and 20 minutes, and
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and we still got 23 people. I gotta shut this thing down. Hopefully, I'll have enough time left to do my other show tomorrow. So, James, thank you so much for jumping in. I hope you learned something today. Mike, welcome
did.
back. Great to see that you're feeling better. Steve, good seeing you. As always,
See you, sir.
take care. And so I'm going to start the timer. And thank you, everybody, for coming in. Take care.
You have a
Thank-
good
Bye
one,
bye,
Art.
everybody. Have a great rest of
Thanks,
the
Art.
weekend. Good night, James.
Thank
Good to
guys.
see you.
Everybody in chat, have a good night. Art, thank you for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Steve.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's do this. And then we'll do where's my timer? Where did I put that thing? Ah. Oh, here it is. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.